A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen dictors. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine, pass fail safe, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
Well, look at us. Late and not gay this time.
Well, indeed, yeah. Not even a hint of gay. That's incredible.
No, straight as an arrow right here. Yeah, well, it's nice to start on time for a change, and that's what happens when Gary isn't involved, so what can I say? You know, we're lucky in this case.
He gets blamed a lot. I think it's going to have a toll one day.
It does, yeah. Like, I somehow manage to blame him even when he's not involved. Sometimes it's just like the spirit of Gary somehow hovers over the open bar, makes us late occasionally.
You know, like Real BBC, Az has somehow convinced people that it's Gary's fault whenever lateness happens, which is obviously him, you know?
Naturally, yeah.
Crazy.
What was going on with you guys the other day where it's like you switched channels for your stream? Last minute.
Oh, it was Gary was supposed to stream Real BBC, but then he, like, within I think it was really late, said he can't do it, and as his power was out, so he didn't even know this had happened. He came back on 5 minutes before the start. Then he gets in and he's just like, "Oh, I got to do it." Fuck, and he sets it all up. We get going. I think we were on time, remarkably, and then my power went out.
Oh, damn!
So then I think Eric came on. And like in the last hour, Gary came back on, so it was just like a fucking nightmare. So yeah, we're all good now, though. It's all fine.
It sounds like a house party where it's like you don't really give a start time, and so your guests just kind of come in and out at various times, and like there's never really enough people there to make it work. It's like,
and yet somehow we made it work.
Somehow it worked, yeah. Well, anyway, how about we get proceedings underway, right? And I can give you some pointless information about our year. In this case,
please,
because we're almost at the end of this whole shenanigans of covering years with open bar. There's not many left, I don't think. So we got to treasure these moments while they last, MauLer, because
it's gonna be crazy when we start covering the 1800s.
Yeah, I think we should do it,
especially in film.
Back. I mean, yeah, there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about there. Pretty quiet in the world of Hollywood. Anyway, stuff that happened in 1967. The big event was the 6-Day War, which took place in June. Israel decided to fight Egypt, Jordan, and Syria all at the same time and beat all of them in 6 days, which is pretty darn impressive. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. The Vietnam War, protests escalate across the world, including a march on the Pentagon, which coincided actually with the Summer of Love, which was taking place in San Francisco mostly. Yeah, they apparently like completely destroyed the area where the Summer of Love took place, you know, like leaving behind all their garbage and stuff when it was all over. So nice going, guys.
Yay.
Yeah, in terms of inventions and stuff that was going on in science and all that, the first ever human heart transplant took place. Dr. Christian Bernard performed the first successful transplant in South Africa. Good going.
God, man, that's gotta be fucking crazy to experience that, having a different human heart inside you.
Yeah, I mean, having to take immunosuppressants for the rest of your life is, you know, not great. But I suppose if you've got a heart that's like not killing you, then that's got to be good.
I saw a documentary thing when I was super young, so I don't know if this thing turned out to be just completely lies or if it's like really, really real. But there was like an old lady who was dying. She needed a heart transplant, and a biker got into an accident where he just mangled his whole body, but his heart was okay. So she got that. And then a few weeks after she'd fully recovered, she just started smoking, drinking, and was interested in like being a bit more radical with like the people. Just like,
no way. She got his heart.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. I've seen theories that like the heart can carry some memory, some like flexibility with how like your personality is formed or whatever. But like I said, I don't know if it was 100% true. I just remember being fascinated by it as a concept.
But it's pretty good, yeah. Did you ever watch Hot Rod?
Yes,
with Andy Samberg.
Yeah, like, I love that movie.
I fucking love it. Where it's like his entire plan is to like pay for a heart operation for his like
step
actually to beat the shit out of him.
I love that movie.
And when he's fighting at the end, and he's like, "Come on, old man," and he's like, "Old man, young heart," and like fucking tackles him through a wall.
He's fucking great in that movie. But I just love like the first time he starts to maybe beat him in the fight, they separate, and then he throws a shuriken at him.
Yeah,
like a throwing star.
Never let your guard down around an opponent. It's the greatest payoff as well when he does that move on him that makes him shit himself.
Yes.
You gotta be kidding me.
That movie's full of good shit.
Yeah, anyway, I better move on with this. Yeah, in the world of film, actually, it was a big year actually for Hollywood because Bonnie and Clyde, which was one of the biggest movies of the year, came in, and it's kind of ushered in the new Hollywood era. Started to like overcome the really stodgy like 1950s and early 60s era where they were kind of locked into like historical epics and stuff. They were really trying to compete with television by going bigger and bigger and just like doing these really like kind of increasingly overblown and pretty boring epics. This was the beginning of the new Hollywood era where they broke free of like the Hays Code, all the restrictive censorship stuff, and started to do a lot more subversive things. And that was the movie that kind of kickstarted it. So interesting stuff. Other big movies of the year, though, we got The Graduate. That was by far the biggest at the box office. That took in 43 million, which is pretty impressive for the day.
Nice.
The Dirty Dozen, one of the all-time classic war movies. Great stuff. You Only Live Twice. Not the best Bond movie, but it's still pretty good. You know, if you can buy Sean Connery as a Japanese man, then good luck to
easily.
you, I suppose. And The Jungle Book from Disney at the time. Pretty cool. In terms of famous people who were born, this is a wild list. Actually, I can't believe these people are all the same age. Right? Let me take you through them. Vin Diesel, Pamela Anderson, Jamie Foxx, Julia Roberts, Nicole Kidman, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Carrie-Anne Moss, Paul Giamatti, Jason Statham, Denise Villeneuve, and Laura Dern. They were all born in 1967.
That is kind of funny in the sense that it's just like when you say each of those names, I picture different ages and eras, you know, not the same.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie Foxx really surprised me. I did not think he was as old as that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild, man. Yeah, it's just strange. Anyway, well, let us bring in our guests, shall we?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Let's assemble the bar. We have got Ryan Kinel, Despot of Antrim, the Outcast creative, and BlueCollarLoser. Welcome, gentlemen. A man of distinction there.
Dude.
Is that Applejack you've got?
Yes. Want to tell you,
right.
New York price is getting crazy. I'm not sure about Ryan's area, but this bottle was $62.
Drinker, I feel I have to point out, you only live twice. It did give us the ultimate enemy Bond base in the volcano.
Yes.
That's the best base in a Bond film ever. Not been topped.
Was that the first appearance of Blofeld as well?
Oh, I don't know if it's the first appearance of him.
Like the first actual, you get a look at him?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, because he's in the earlier one where he electrocutes the guy in the chair, but you don't see his face.
Yeah, he's referenced, but this is the first time, like, you see him and it's Donald Pleasance, and I just kept thinking, like, God damn.
So I'll forgive Connery's eyebrows. I'll forgive Connery's eyebrows for that rocket base in the volcano.
It was pretty cool. That was the biggest set they built up until that time.
It was. I think it's still the tallest set ever to be built at Pinewood, I think, still.
And having like all the ninjas come down in there at the top when it's all like escalating.
I reenacted that with my toy soldiers many a time.
Very cool. I think that and the tanker set that they built for The Spy Who Loved Me were like the two biggest.
That's another great sequence.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Both very impressive things. But yes, well, welcome aboard, gentlemen. I was trying to decide here what to cover first, right? And I know we've got Supergirl here before we jump into talking about the trailer, because I'm pretty sure we'll get copyright struck because it's got licensed music in it, and Warner Brothers seem to be really clamping down on footage. It is almost the 10-year anniversary of the release of Force Awakens. I think it technically had its premiere on the 14th, December 14th in LA. So it's just a couple of days away. 10 years. of Disney Star Wars.
Oh boy.
So, is it true? Has it become a masterpiece? That's what we were promised.
We were told that, yeah. I'm still waiting.
When did that become a cope for the Disney
TLJ.
Sheldon? Was it after the second or the third one?
Definitely TLJ. That's where it came up. It was like, you guys are so wrong about this movie that in a decade from now, you'll be like, holy shit, how are we so wrong? It's such a
Everyone's
big
going to turn on the sequels just like they did the prequels. We promise. You'll be eating your words.
Well,
I admit I was
to,
wrong
like-
about them because I rewatched all three recently and they are worse than I remember.
They're really bad. They're catastrophically bad.
They're quite. It is the worst. It's the worst sequel trilogy ever made. And I changed my mind about it actually when I rewatched the trilogy. I actually thought that The Force Awakens is the worst movie of the three.
That's a fair thing to say.
It's bad. The whole super weapon thing just really annoyed me. I thought, is that the best plot they can come up with? We're going to give the enemy a bigger gun, except it's going to kill 5 planets this time instead of 1.
Yes.
It's like, really?
In a way, it's the worst. You could definitely count it as the worst because it had the least constraints on it, right? They obviously had unlimited budget and stuff, and there was no previous movie that they really needed to build off. They could effectively do whatever they wanted. When you get to TLJ, even, you know, that had to pick up the plot threads of Force Awakens, and then obviously Rise of Skywalker was lumbered with the impossible task of trying to unfuck that complete disaster. But with Force Awakens, that could do whatever it wanted, and what it chose to do, as you guys were saying there, was just rehash A New Hope. It was like the least imaginative Star Wars movie that's possibly ever been made.
Yeah,
but no one kind of picked up on it at the time. Everyone seemed to be relatively like,
Nostalgia.
Arguably the zenith of the concept of it's thing you recognize. For loads of people, that's enough.
Yeah,
and it's still enough today for a lot of people with a lot of things, but in retrospect, holy shit.
It's Force Awakens is so retarded and hollow, and I hated walking in there with I was pretty pessimistic, but I was like, I'm going to try my best to give it a chance. And I hated walking in there with all these mouth-breathing, drooling fucking retards who were just lapping this dumb shit up. I'm looking around and I'm saying, you know what? This is just not for me anymore, as all these hogs were right there at the slop, just drinking out of the trough that was Force Awakens. Fuck that movie.
Ryan, how things have so desperately changed. Nobody's doing that anymore with any movies these days. It's fixed.
I mean, you couldn't ignore the massive hype around this movie. Like whatever combination of elements came together to create this film, it was incredible anticipation for it, and like it was fueled by the prequels being pretty disappointing overall. In a way, it was almost fueled by like the sort of reassessments that were going on in the online space, led by people like Red Letter Media, who were like, yeah, the prequels were actually fucking garbage, and here's all the reasons. And it became cool to shit on George Lucas's vision there.
Yeah.
So the idea that like, hey, Disney are taking it over, and like we're getting all these nods to the original trilogy, and it looks all very fast paced, and look what he did with Star Wars. He made it cool and actiony, and that's what we want from our Star Wars. Like that, all of those things fed into this crazy amount of anticipation for this movie, and it didn't stop. Like, what did it take in? Like $2 billion?
It was like 2.7.
Yeah, just over 2 billion, with a budget of 447 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a layup to an extent, right? They were going to make a lot of money no matter what. They had amazing goodwill. It's the one thing that you need to appreciate about the prequels is they kept Star Wars as a fandom alive and well. They were healthy post prequels. People can say that they're the worst movies ever, whatever the fuck. Red Letter Media maintained that they're worse than the sequels, but you can't deny that the fandom was happy.
I think what they did, the prequels, it was rather than just the movies themselves, it's what they spawned. It was the extended universe of TV shows and animated things and video games and like.
I'm going to give them a bit more credit than that. I agree with you, but I also think it's because the prequels films themselves, they give you an interest in finding out about this stuff. You watch them, you're like, I want to know more about this. You can't say the same for the sequels. No one gives a fuck about any character in that movie.
No.
Basic building blocks of the plot of the sequels, terrible script and dialogue aside, were not that bad. The key story ingredients, were not terrible. They're just not great movies for all the reasons we know. But they could have been good. But that story compared to what we got subsequently, my God, make them look like Oscar-winning Marvel pieces. You know,
I think there was back then at this. Ryan, you're on mute, mate.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
There was still back then this faith in J.J. Abrams as a storyteller. And I think, you know, this is before his reputation has completely went down the tubes. And so people assumed, like, okay, maybe Force Awakens wasn't amazing, but, like, there's loads of things hinted at in this. Like, there's loads of mysteries in boxes that we can't wait to open. And I'm sure they'll have super satisfying ideas in them.
Fucking desperate to find. Not that we're actually there.
You know, when you rewatch The Force Awakens, you realize that the mysteries that are set up are pretty lame. It's stuff like, well, who are Rey's parents? Who really gives a fuck? Who is Snoke? It's pretty obvious he's just a stand-in for the Emperor. But if you look at where JJ set everything up, it seems pretty obvious that he was going for to go for a remake of The Empire Strikes Back in the second one, because Luke, at the end of The Force Awakens, Luke is set up to be Yoda. So he's this old Jedi Master who is taken off to Craggy Island. It's isolated, and he's being visited by a younger Jedi. That's just Yoda, right? So he's Yoda, and then Rey is Luke. And if you look at the start of TLJ, it's basically the attack on Hoth. So that's where that starts out. You know, the rebels have to go off and they have to find a new base after they destroy the Death Star, and you have Vader looking for Luke, and at the start of the second one, you would have had Kylo Ren looking for Rey. That was basically he set up to copy The Empire Strikes Back. People said, oh, you know, there was so much that Rian Johnson could have done in the Last Jedi. There were so many places to go, and there really wasn't that many. Unless you wanted to get fucking crazy. Basically, all that had been done in the first movie by J.J. Abrams was to set up for a ripoff of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. You can always radically just be like, I'm going to fucking alter, because Ryan and JJ retcon each other going forward in some different ways. So, you know, I would just really like go for it. I would just undo The Force Awakens in many ways. We always joked about how, like, Luke wakes up from a dream and he had a nightmare that all of that could have happened. But I was going to say, to your point, you're totally right, because Han Solo is supposed to be Obi-Wan in A New Hope, right? But in The Force Awakens, he's supposed to provide the mentorship and then have this sacrificial death. But when you compare the plot beats and execution, Han Solo is fucking assassinated thoroughly, while Obi-Wan is, like, you know, venerated as this incredible foundational character to Star Wars.
Yeah, I think more than anything else, I think everyone should have walked in there disappointed that we allowed this thing to make $2 billion when it was a house of cards, right? In terms of the actual world that you live in. Okay, that's the thing. And people can shit on the prequels if they want. I like the prequels. But one thing they did was they did a ton of world building, galaxy developing, building. And like all these interesting planets and places, or the people that come from them, or whatever, that people are interested to learn more about. We get like nothing about the state of the galaxy in Force Awakens at all. Like most people did not even know the planets that were destroyed by the bigger, more powerful super weapon. No, most people didn't even know what those fucking planets were. And it was so weird because in this desperate effort to redo A New Hope and make the fucking Empire be the big baddies in charge with all the advantages, and the rebellion be the rebellion, you have to completely pretend like this thing in the galaxy happens that's not happening. Oh yeah, New Republic's in control, but really there's this massive, or this is going to be the big bad. And you don't have to care that they're not as big as the New Republic. They're big bad here, so we can have our scrappy little rebellion. For some reason, with no outside help at all, have to take them on. It was retarded that people
on the note of the absolute fucking nonsense of the plot in The Force Awakens and the interest of the creators, right? Do you remember the scene where Hux basically says, like, oh, the weapon's charging, we're about to fire on, which, by the way, Ryan's right, it was Hosnian Prime, which at the time I had no fucking clue that's what that was.
We're never told this. Like,
in my I think in my first TLJ video I referred to it as Coruscant because I still didn't know. I never actually found out that wasn't, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, he says, like, we got the target done, and if we destroy the Republic, right, wipe out the entire system, then we can get the Resistance. It's like, hey, what? He's like, you're like, oh, we got to get rid of the annoying entire government of the galaxy, then we can get that rebel force. It's like, okay.
This needed like a show like Andor, like that level of like world building and detail in order to like reestablish this world, like post original trilogy, post like restoration of the Republic and stuff. to understand like what the hell was going on. And like you could 100% have like the First Order be this growing threat, like on the edges of the galaxy or something. Like they know it's coming, but they don't really know where they're based, and they don't know how to strike at them. And the Republic is still kind of a bit weak and divided after this enormous civil war that they're still rebuilding from. There's things like that you could establish, but it would take time. And like J.J. Abrams just wasn't interested in any of that. He's like, fuck it, need to get our super weapon blowing stuff up immediately, and like let's not worry too much about what it's blowing up.
Yeah, that's what the audience want.
Yeah, they should have flipped it on its head, and it should have been the Empire, or what the new Empire, whatever they were bloody called, doing hit and run tactics on the New Republic, so to speak. So they should have flipped it all on its head. And the bad guys should have been coming in and doing these little evil missions and upsetting things and setting people warring against each other, with the politics and stuff like that. But they didn't have the patience for that. Or they could have planned it out over 3 movies. They could have sat down and planned it out. That's the biggest problem with
radical
this
idea.
trilogy. There was
I
couldn't believe it when I found that out. That no one sat down and planned out all 3 movies, which is just the logical step. Biggest franchise of all time. What should you do? Sit down and plan it out properly for 3 films that are going to make money. No, we'll do 1 and then we'll just see how we go. Jesus
well, that makes sense.
Christ.
That makes sense from Disney's perspective, because you're a fan, right? And you admire storytelling, so that makes sense to you. But if you're Disney, your priorities are to make the movie and then base the second movie on how the audience react to it. So they didn't know that it was going to be a big $2 billion hit. For all they knew, it was going to be a disappointment. So if The Force Awakens hadn't worked, then they would have changed course for the second one. That's one of the reasons why they didn't set out a big plan, because Disney aren't storytellers. They're a corporation.
Well, I think
they're just awful when it comes to planning anything, right? Like they know the MCU's going for many phases, and they still didn't plan it, even the individual films that they were making for they're in-house style. They've decided it's enough to make money, so it doesn't matter. You don't need scripts, you don't need planning.
I can at least understand it and not forgive it, but I can at least understand it on something as vast as the scale of the MCU, where you're now at like 30 movies and God knows how many
individual films though.
No, but in this case of Star Wars, it's like you literally had 3 movies to make. 3 movies that tell some kind of overarching story between the 3 of them. It's not that fucking difficult. And like they couldn't even manage that. And I think part of the problem is TFA was so monumentally successful, like bringing in over $2 billion. They almost like got lulled into a false sense of security or a false sense of confidence, where it's like, oh, we can shart out any crap. And like, as long as it's got the Star Wars name on it, we are printing money. We can't go wrong. And so, they gave way more freedom to Rian Johnson than they probably should have.
Yeah.
I was like, to remember Force Awakens, Luke's lightsaber. Hey, where'd you get that from? A story for another time. One day we'll tell you how I got Luke's lightsaber. How did it turn out?
It was in a fucking comic book, I think.
Yeah, it went into some kind of trash collector in Bespin, and then ended up with Maz Kanata. Of course.
It ended up with Darth Maul's lower half somewhere.
Despot made a really important point, which is this whole thing was approached with a corporation mentality as opposed to a film auteurs mentality. If you had had a proper, really strong driving force manning this ship who planned out the whole thing, we would have had 3 amazing movies. At the very worst, one of them might have been average, but I think they all would have been solid. But you approach it with a corporate mentality. The first film was very safe, rehashing all those things that we loved from the original trilogy. And then they just gave it to the next director and said, do whatever you want. And he went, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to be really controversial and make a really silly film that makes no sense. Yeah, great. Thanks, mate. Cheers for that. Really enjoyed that in the cinema. Thank you. I don't know. They approached it with this corporate mentality. Then they just kind of let that go as well and just thought, oh, well, we don't care now.
Well, I think then you got into because they obviously had only 3 movies to do this whole thing. And so when you release your second movie and it's this wildly divisive disaster in real terms, I mean, it still made a lot of money, but clearly it was a massive dip from Force Awakens. The fan base was super divided now. You know that you have to do something to try and correct it. You go into complete panic mode, and it's like, what the fuck do we do? I don't know. Bring back that really safe guy who does really predictable fan-pleasing movies where it's just going to do nothing controversial, and it's like that like actually killed J.J. Abrams' career stone dead, just like forcing him to do that.
Wasn't it Star Trek that got him Star Wars, essentially?
Yeah.
He took on Star Trek, it made loads of money, and they all went, yeah, well, he's going to do the same thing.
He left, he left Star Trek before it went down the shitter, like leached onto Star Wars, planned to just do a one and done, and then again, like lay all the groundwork for other people to try and like actually finish the story. He could then go off and do other stuff, but he was lured back to do the third movie. Probably with a very hefty paycheck. And obviously we found out what J.J. Abrams was capable of delivering as a storyteller when he was literally forced to wrap a story up.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be not much.
Space Force is charging on the side of a spaceship. You know, fantastic stuff.
I'll be totally honest. I haven't watched Rise of Skywalker since 2020. That was the last time I watched it.
I've only seen all of these films once at the cinema. That's it. I've never seen them since. I've never bought the physical media. I don't own them. I don't
want to know how many times I've seen them. It's too many, whatever the number is.
And even as bad as J.J. Abrams is, this is, I don't know if anybody would have been quite up to the task of taking where they were at that point and giving you like a product that seems okay. Because
I totally get that. I still feel like Rise of Skywalker was remarkably terrible.
It was so fucking bad. But it's basically like asking J.J. Abrams, hey, you wrote season 1 of Lost. Somebody else came in for season 2. Can you please write 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 and give it to us in one movie?
We'll give you loads of money.
Yeah.
What's funny to remember Rise of Skywalker, they kept saying like, hey, so Palpatine, we always from the beginning had him planned out for coming back. Ian McDermott, who plays Palpatine, is like, yeah, JJ contacted me 2 months before shooting. He goes, isn't Palpatine dead? So the actor playing Palpatine, he didn't even fucking know about it. Jesus, he was always meant to come back. He's like, really?
No, that story's horseshit. I can tell you that now because I know Ian, and that's absolute BS. He was never told that at all. And you're right. Well, he was contacted last minute.
Dude, he's like the best thing about Rise of Skywalker. It's really fun watching him just be Palpatine again.
Sheev.
Like, whatever. Hell yeah.
Dark side.
He just enjoys the role so much.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely hamming it up, like, because he hammed it up in the prequels quite a bit when he went full Palpatine, and now it's like, yeah, there's just no restraints on him. It's just
something. Thank you, something.
Because obviously, back in the the days of Return of the Jedi, we're talking like over 40 years ago now. Like he was playing this old, like decrepit character even then, and 40 years down the line, and there he is back doing it.
Still got it.
Yes,
he didn't even need makeup this time.
Still ready for an accident while Force lightning. This seemed to happen a lot to old Sheev.
He still hasn't learned like 3
what's
times,
really
dude.
bad in the somehow Return of Palpatine? It's the Leia scenes. Because when I was rewatching it recently, obviously she died shortly after The Last Jedi's principal photography wrapped, and then they used some unused footage of her from The Last Jedi, and they used a bit of CGI and body doubles and things like that to create those scenes, but they're fucking dreadful.
You can tell,
Rise of Palpatine, because she doesn't. There's scenes where there's very important matters to be discussed, right? So there's a scene between her and Rey where Rey's going to go off and she's going to go fight the Emperor, who we just discovered is still alive. And Leia says one word in the entire scene. She just says no. And it's awful. It doesn't work. It's so unnatural.
It's because there's another scene where there's 2 guys. You don't have the auto reply for what she's answering. So they used to have to take it out of some random thing where they were talking about what bread they're going to have for breakfast. So it has like no weight.
we should probably be thankful, actually, that, this took place really before the rise of AI to the point that we have now. And so, like, if they were to do this now, you would have some horrible CGI creation that's just like deep faked to shit.
What, like in the Supergirl trailer, you mean?
Yeah. Well.
So I know we're coming on to that. I thought I'd set that up for you for later.
Yeah, we can do that. I should ask before we move on from this. I just want to ask you guys, like, if you had to pin down your dumbest moment of Force Awakens, since it's the anniversary and all that, do you have a particular favorite?
Dumbest.
For me, it's the super weapon. I know what they're doing with it. They're kind of blowing up all those planets, giving them a clean slate to sort of start again. but I just think it sucks, and I just hate it as a plot device. And I just think we would have had more interesting space battles and stuff if the bad guys hadn't been so strong, but they'd still been a cunning force that was like picking away at the new rebel order or whatever, the new politic that was in command. That would have been much more interesting. For me, they went the super weapon route. We've seen it before. It's dumb. I hate it. It's been done. It was great in the first film, of course, but you know.
For me, it's 1000% the way Han is treated and the way that he dies. For all the people who decided that they were, oh, I'm so anti-Disney because of what they did to Luke Skywalker, you should have woke the fuck up when they did it to Han Solo. It's not just that he dies, and don't give me the reason he dies because Han Solo Harrison wanted his character to die, and this is the only way. I get it. Okay, he could come back and die in a million different ways that aren't this. It's the way that he's treated all the way up to his death, where it literally reverts every single thing that made Han Solo a great character. That when you found him at that fucking Mos Eisley cantina, surrounded by all this scum of this hive of scum and villainy, right? That's the dude who's only thinking about himself, about his next paycheck, about all this shit, and slowly he evolves to the point where he's leading a group of rebels down on the ground on the forest moon of Endor. All these things. That Han Solo, you stripped him away from us for no fucking reason. Right? You remove him back to where he was at the very fucking beginning, owing money to more people than he can even fucking remember, just rummaging around with Chewbacca throughout the galaxy. It's bullshit. They destroyed the character of Han Solo well before they destroyed Luke Skywalker.
I'll never forget
TFA just damaged Luke Skywalker anyway.
Yeah. What we're saying 10 years. My son's 18 now. He's 8 years old. First thing he said, Dad, so who taught Rey the Jedi mind trick? But my 8-year-old son said that. But yeah, remember how Obi-Wan, who taught her how to? Just curious.
I think one of my favorite moments might be like when they get back from their mission and like Han Solo's been killed and like they've all just barely made it back, and like fucking Leia just like hugs Rey, and while Chewie just kind of walks by in the background.
Yeah,
fucking ignored.
Yeah, and they've never met before this, by the way. Leia, it's not even evident that Leia can identify Rey.
Oh, it's mad.
Connected through the Force, bro. It makes sense. But yeah, I'm with Ryan, but I'd choose that for most like offensive, dumbest, and this is a slight bit of meta as well. But you know when the laser hits Hosnian Prime, you see Finn sees it. He sees the laser, which is impossible physics-wise. And J.J. Abrams said, "Yeah, well, Star Wars isn't a science lesson, so." It's just like, that's nice and dumb for you. It's like, I've always hated this dichotomy that like science sucks. It gets in the way of things or something. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, just let us say our bullshit. But it's like, it gets beyond science to just like simple common sense and like the basic understanding of how space works. And it's like,
there are some things where you can sit there and like kind of make the argument. For instance, right, this thing would have been happening, like it wouldn't have been happening in sync, right? It's so fucking far away. There's no way that it would have happened at the same time that Finn has seen it. There would be some sort of delay, probably a significant one. Then you can be like, well, the idea, like from a cinematographic standpoint of somebody seeing that at that moment, we felt like that was enough room to kind of stretch. Like, we know that people won't really think that that's happening at the same time, but we thought for the editing, for the way it felt, it worked for this. Versus, well, you know, nothing really works. Don't think about it that hard.
I was going to say, if it were one thing among the movie, we could be like pretty forgiving of it or whatever. Even though there's better ways to do it. There's plenty of ways you can get Finn's knowledge of the event without fucking putting the light in the sky. But the film is full of this shit. Nothing makes any fucking sense. It's just like, great. You know, arguably the dumbest part of the whole movie is the fucking title crawl, where it just annihilates everything about the ending of the sixth film.
Luke Skywalker is missing. Okay.
Yeah, it's already like, excuse me? Like, why would you write that? And the writer's like, who
knows?
We don't even know why we wrote that.
A drinker, how many streams did you say? Remember how they showed Finn holding a blue lightsaber? Finn, this upcoming Jedi that'll be important in the trilogy.
He was infinitely more interesting than Rey as a potential character. Like they done him dirty so bad in that trilogy.
Yeah,
and I just you can see the life drain out of John Boyega, where he just has to constantly run around like Rey.
Yeah,
every time, man. It's awful. But
then he gets that shoehorned romance at the end of the trilogy. It's totally meaningless
with a random girl that we've never met before.
The black horse archer.
She's a different girlfriend every movie.
That's true.
They just got to pair him. They're like, it didn't work out with the white chick. Let's start pairing you up with the minorities, see if that hits harder. Yeah.
I mean, I do kind of respect J.J. Abrams for just realizing, like, yeah, Rose Tico is fucking toxic. Let's just get her out of this movie.
he got in trouble for that. They're like, how dare you reduce her role? Like, why the fuck do you think he did?
Oh.
Yes, like I try not to.
She is the worst.
That kiss was iconic
in the trilogy of all. She's the worst original character in the trilogy.
I think she's genuinely like in TLJ, like you have to just grit your teeth and get through her scenes. It is difficult.
It is.
She is the worst of the new characters, 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, that was our little recap of TFA. Like it was a
lot. Apart from that, we loved it.
Yeah.
Great movie.
I've seen it 4 times. Yeah.
It really felt like Star Wars to me.
Yeah. Finally, it's back. I guess we should
say that, but like loads of people said that about Mandalorian, like season 2 and shit.
I know. That's always what it is. It's all about that feel, homie. You know, you just got to vibe.
Feel that doesn't last.
It's
gone next week.
I wouldn't really like drain another like 6 hours out of my life, but I would be interested to sometime go back and rewatch the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian just to see how I perceive them now. In light of
it
what
would
was
be really
done.
interesting, yeah, because I have a slimy suspicion if I were to go back and even watch Mando season 1, I would think this is fucking dumb.
Yeah,
it was
dumb. It was extremely dumb.
I think the dumbness worked in its favor to a degree because it was so limited. It was just like the most basic bitch, like, you know, main character gets sent on a fetch quest and something goes wrong and he has to like do something else in order to get back to where he was so that he can complete his mission. That's like most of the episodes were. Yeah. They were like video game levels and they worked because when your story is that simple, there's almost nothing you can fuck up. That was the key to its success. But then they started bringing in, you know, like bigger conspiracies and like, you know, fucking Bo-Katan, who ended up becoming the main character.
Look at Moff Gideon's been defeated like 3 times. He's like a final boss. He's like Bowser. He just keeps coming back.
and he still doesn't know if he's gone or not. John Carl was asking. John Carl was asking about it recently. He's like, I don't know. You never know when I could. Did you see a body? It's like all this shit, man.
Well, I mean, Mando season 1 had Grogu. Baby Yoda.
Yeah, Grogu's cute.
That iconic character.
He was great in Predator Badlands.
The thing with the show is if they had stuck to the first 45 minutes of the first episode, right? The feel of that first episode where it did feel like you were just going to be with some mercenary, with some bounty hunter, doing bounty of the week stuff, exploring the underworld, discovering a little bit more about his history kind of each and every episode. Yeah. If they had done that, I actually think you could have had like a decent show. Instead, that gets speed run immediately into this fucking adventure story with you and Grogu. And about half of season 1 doesn't work out at all for that, but about half of season 1 might be a little movie that was originally supposed to be that. And then by season 2, they're completely done with that idea. And it's just cameo fest, cameo fest, cameo fest. Let's meet the next most important person in the fucking universe who's interacted with this other next most important person in the fucking universe.
Dude,
it
Luke
quickly
and
lost me
Ahsoka
that
meeting.
had.
Even though that's you know what I mean? Luke and Ahsoka meeting and they don't talk about anything.
Yeah. Fucking like look what that gave us, the delights of Ahsoka. I do love as well that this actually broke the Bo-Katan actress. Yeah, Katie Sackhoff. Like it actually destroyed her confidence as an actress because this character had fucking no personality, and she was like, "Is it me? Am I the problem? Am I just not understanding?"
Dave Filoni broke Katie Sackhoff, basically.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
The interview she gave about that, it's pretty interesting.
Still feel like Dave Filoni's sneaking away with the damage he's doing to Star Wars compared to JJ and Ryan and Kathleen, of course.
Because he hasn't failed on high enough profile yet. He hasn't done a movie that he could
give him time.
Oh, don't you want to see Ahsoka season 2?
I mean, I do from a revenue standpoint, but like any other point of view, like
that masterpiece,
so good, dude.
Remember, he said how bad Hayden was holding back when he's fighting like Rosario Dawson.
Oh, it was
God, you just reminded me of Rosario Dawson's lightsaber fighting. Jesus, that was the worst like lightsaber fighting Disney has yet produced. That was shocking.
It was
not fair.
It was like fighting a child.
Yeah, like whatever you want to say about the prequels, like they had some pretty fucking solid choreography
yeah.
with their lightsaber fights. Like those guys, like Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, they really trained hard for that. And then you get this fucking lumbering, uncoordinated, like borderline retarded actress trying to like keep up with Hayden Christensen, and it's just embarrassing to watch.
Well, the bullshit of it too is she's a really good actress. You wouldn't know it watching Ahsoka.
Definitely.
And the thing is, it's not because you're obviously going to have people in the chat, accusing us of sexism. It's not a woman thing, because if you look at Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Michelle Yeoh does some fucking amazing fight choreography in that. Right?
I don't need her to be
issue with the
strong.
actress.
I just need her to be fast and coordinated. That's all she's got to do.
Exactly. But they choose an actress to play this role who has, and I can tell because I've done, boxing and Muay Thai. You can tell when someone has done zero martial arts training just by looking at the way they move. And I could tell watching her, she's never done a minute of martial arts training in her life. Yeah. She's completely new to this, and she's fucking she's no natural talent either. Oh, it was such an awful pick for the role. Like whatever else the actress does, she has to be able to fight. That has to be the main priority. If she's playing a Jedi, right, a Jedi Knight or Jedi Master, and they fucked it up, it was awful.
Yeah, Despot. If you watch Star Wars Rebels and you see Ahsoka fight Vader, look at the choreography. It's obviously animated, but like look at Ahsoka's movements, then look at that live action. Like what happened to you?
That's why I always have to like go back and compare that when. You specifically not when I'm talking about how fast or slow she is, but how different she is as a character. Like how she's not emoting at that stupid fucking blank face or like completely even keel way of speaking. Like we have examples of adult Ahsoka after all this pain she's been through, after all this fucking misery. We have examples of that in how she interacts in Star Wars Rebels, which is dog shit, by the way, and no one should watch it. It sucks.
Well, consider me signed up for that. I ain't watching it. There's a question here for you, Despot. The mighty Despot, when do you plan on covering All's Fair? I know you have a love for intelligent, logical women that treat men with respect and kindness, so I think it's right in your area.
I'll be touching on it in the Worst of Woke Awards, but I doubt I'll do a dedicated review. I know the Little Platoon just released a dedicated review, so that'd be well worth watching if you want to deep dive into that. I was curious though, because these are women lawyers that are flying around on private jets from California to New York and all this. And I looked that up. That would cost about $100,000 for a return private jet flight from say LA to New York. And I looked up what is the average salary of a divorce lawyer, and at the high end of divorce lawyers, they earn $250,000 a year.
Oh God,
which isn't that much in the big coastal cities after tax and cost of living and things like that and business expenses.
Yeah.
So they're wearing $50,000 suits and flying around in private jets, and they've got all these expensive jewels. But the job, it's a complete fantasy. It's a corporate feminist fantasy.
Well, it would be kind of the thing where the amount, like the type of lawyers that do that are going to be incredibly small. You know what I mean? They're doing that high end clientele, $100 million divorces and all that bullshit. And somehow I don't think that these women would have made the cut somehow.
I don't see that happen, because I mean if you look at divorce statistics, people that are least likely to get divorced are the wealthy. But it doesn't fucking matter. Don't try to make sense of the show. It's just it's consumerist pornography. It's just an advertisement with Kim Kardashian in it who can't fucking act. It's pretty dreadful. I don't think it's the worst show of the year. I think the worst show of the year would be like Alien Earth or something like that. Because I mean it is just feminist consumerist pornography. It's its own thing, okay? Whatever. It's fucking awful. There's some brain dead reality TV fan who's going to enjoy it, fair enough. But it's not the worst for me because I don't care. It's not. It does
depend how many friends you have who've got access to private jets. Sometimes you can get a flight for cheaper than 100K. But that all depends on who's got access to the jet.
And then I think it is
true.
Yeah, it does seem like it's just aspirational porn or whatever for vapid idiots. It's not really about reality. If you've got
high income, you can join a certain frequent flyers club with private jets, and you can get flights for between 5 to 10K or something like that. Yeah. So there are certain organisations that, you know, if you've got a bit of money, you can fly for a bit cheaper, but you're sharing that flight with probably 6 other people doing the same, or 10 other people, or whatever. But I haven't watched the show, so I don't know whether that's what they're doing.
From what I understand, there's scenes where like the clients they take on straight up admit that they are like they cheated on their husbands and they're literally just rinsing them for money, and like to get the best divorce settlement. And these lawyers represent them, and they're somehow the heroes of this. I don't get it. Like these people are monsters.
But it's because they're Trinker. It's because they're women. You see? Did you not realize that?
Hey, what was it you put in your video where it's like that Nixon clip? It's like, well,
Nixon,
when a woman does it, that means
it is not illegal.
Yeah, it's like it's fine when they do it.
It's not illegal when it's a woman.
Yeah, I don't imagine I'll be watching it anytime soon, but I'll probably watch Platoon's review. And if you decide to talk about it, I'll watch that too. I'll experience it vicariously through you. But yeah, speaking of strong women, I suppose we should talk about this, right?
Oh yeah.
Brace yourselves, gentlemen. I'll show you the poster first. Are you guys excited for Supergirl?
I mean,
because she's going to represent
now you've made me
truth.
Watch the trailer. I'm just, you know, I'm so excited. Now you made me watch the trailer. Truth, justice, and whatever. Oh, sign me up.
Yeah, that's a statement of intent right there with this project. Yeah, I think like if I was asked to make like if I was asked to go to ChatGPT and say, right, give me a generic superhero poster that just encapsulates all of James Gunn's movies into one poster, it would probably be like this.
This ain't grandma's Supergirl.
No. She's done living up to your expectations.
She's no Helen Slater. Come on.
She's rough around the edges, and she's not living up to what everybody thinks she should, but she's her own woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's a crazy mixed up party girl. She's got no time for that hero stuff.
She's wearing Star-Lord's trench coat, his leather trench coat, and she's got his retro headphones.
Oh, God.
It's funny, right? Because this movie is not written or directed by James Gunn, but it somehow manages to be the most James Gunn movie that's ever James Gunned. Like, I can only assume he's like fucking Palpatine behind the scenes, just like got his fingers in everything. Like, I think you need some more licensed 1980s pop music there. How about more headphones, more dog action right there? That came out wrong.
Yeah, that didn't sound right, man.
That's Dave Filoni right there.
Yeah.
Supergirl versus Critical Doggo. Now that's a film I would watch.
I mean, I don't think the Critical Doggo would stand much of a chance. Too lazy, but I can show you the trailer. I guess we should. It's
directed by Craig Gillespie.
Yes.
I mean, Drinker, you've been hungover and the sun hurts your eyes because you have super vision. You can shoot eye beams. Of course, she's hungover and wearing sunglasses.
I'm not entirely convinced on how like alcohol even affects Kryptonians. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but like, sure, let's go with it.
So you would have to. So they did say in the movie she goes to systems with red sun so she can actually get drunk.
Yeah,
but it shows her actually drinking here. Like it's not like I would kind of like, what's the point in drinking alcohol if it literally doesn't have any effect on you?
She also traveled back to Earth, meaning she would have fucking undrunk.
Instantly healed.
Sobered up, yes.
Yeah.
No, undrunk is the word, Ryan. I'm pretty sure it's the medical term.
Superman would be fucked in the
Fright Night reboot, by the way.
Let's see if I can bring this up.
He did the Fright Night reboot. He did I, Tonya. I, Tonya is a good movie. So that's pretty good.
It's got a dog. I want to go.
This is a deliberate show.
Haha.
Hang on, did he just pee on Superman?
He did. I mean, look at it. It's so irreverent, guys.
This
so
ain't your grandma's piss.
To be honest, we've all seen that film. Can you blame him?
This is the first. This is the first look we get. And let's just keep in mind, it's not like that something happened on set and they got inspired and they're like, hey, wouldn't that be funny? This is a CGI dog, completely and totally. It is all completely planned out. They had to animate the piss that goes on Superman's face.
Ryan's right.
Like, look at the title. Superman saves town from nuclear reactor explosion.
Yeah, this is a choice right here.
Yeah.
Again, this could be any James Gunn movie ever. This could be Guardians of the Galaxy. This could be fucking Suicide Squad. It could be anything. It could be Peacemaker. It just all looks the same.
Is this supposed to be a futuristic bus stop that she's waiting for, like the bus to come?
Sure.
Let's go with
Okay.
that. Sure.
All right, let's
Why
go with
not?
that. Yeah, that's like Elon Musk's future bus.
It's another wacky.
It's a jelly
Now,
bean.
she's a good actress. This one, we liked her in House of the Dragon. I feel like this is not going to do her career many favors, though.
Oh yeah. No, she was good in House of the Dragon.
Well-
she was really good.
We'll have to see if the direction is going to be the problem here rather than her acting, eh?
Well,
see.
I mean, he's okay, Craig Gillespie. I think.
I liked
Right.
when we heard Millie
It's not even about-
be able to do it. I like her, but I
It's
don't
not even about how good the directing is, but the
Mm.
direction, as in, should this
Ah.
be where the character goes?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm so fucking tired of music, and this sounds such a strange thing to say, right? It's almost like
Tired of
James
music.
Gunn movies make me hate music because
know what
it's
it
so
is?
shameless how much he abuses it.
Relies on it.
Yeah, it's like
relies
this
on music
fucking
and people
crutch to just
dancing.
get him through everything. It's so tedious.
He relies very heavily on diegetic music, but it can be done really well, right? And the way, like for example, Amadeus does it brilliantly. That's
Yeah.
a perfect
Called
example of
Despot,
how to integrate it into the story.
Rebel Moon Part 2 did it superbly, Despot.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
Say that.
But like for example, she goes into this club and she's dancing under the disco light. Now immediately the problem here is, okay, that's too trite. For a start, it's 80s nostalgia, and we're done with that. You've got to move on to like 90s nostalgia now. And I know we're all kind of sick of nostalgia, but at the same time, if you're going to do something wrong, do it right. What should be going on here? She goes into the club, or it's kind of like a throwback to an early 90s dive bar with like a Nirvana stand and playing on stage. It would be a little bit more fresh, right? It's still sort of nostalgia and music and all, but at least it's a bit more fresh, and there's a different ambience, a different vibe. But this is just Star-Lord dancing at the start of Guardians.
Well,
It's just it's boring. It's so fucking trite. If you're gonna do this trope, at least do it a bit more fresh than this.
Yeah, she
At
should be
least,
going
you
into
know,
a
at
90s
least-
rave.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least Guardians, the first one especially, had a valid reason for like the musical choices in it, right? Star-Lord was taken away from Earth in the 80s, and
Got
so
his
like
walkman.
that music that he had access to is like all he had. Like that's his frame of reference, and so that's
Yeah.
the stuff he listens to. Okay, fine, it's just indulging James Gunn's fucking passion for 80s pop music and stuff. Whatever, but like there's a reason in universe. What's her reason? Like she couldn't even have existed in the 80s. Like she's got no connection to that. But like this is a Blondie song, isn't it? From like 1981
Yeah.
or 2. Like
I
it's
mean,
like
this
really
is-
early 80s.
Very early 80s, 1980 it might even be this track. 80,
Yeah.
81, I think.
And it's like, well, this was chosen for the trailer for a very obvious choice. It's obviously like somehow relevant to the character, but it
she's
shouldn't
blonde.
That's brilliant,
She's
Lance.
blonde,
Well
and it's a
done.
blondie
Wow.
track.
All
Get it?
right, there you go.
You've cracked it.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm an award-winning writer.
Do you know what I really annoy about this? What really annoys me is the excessive use of yellow filter. It's beginning to
Yeah.
remind me of Star Trek Section 31. Because I
not a good
rewatched that
film.
recently for my worst movies of the year
I've
video.
forgotten that
And
movie existed.
It's covered. All the outdoor scenes are covered in this disgusting piss filter. And I think we're all sick of the piss filter, and I'm seeing a lot of it in this
Yeah.
trailer.
Also, I'm curious how this film's going to dodge the landmines of she's simultaneously got to be very familiar with Krypton and its destruction, which apparently takes over time, is what she just kind of said there, but simultaneously needs to know nothing about Clark's parents.
Yes.
Otherwise, that'll
Or-
damage Superman.
Or somehow had never seen that video.
Just absolute fucking nonsense. I know that they like a lot of big fans of Superman are like, no, this film will slip right in. It's like, yeah, we'll see how they manage to pull that off.
I mean, I'm not an expert in the
Oh,
canon,
man.
but when does Supergirl arrive in the kind of Superman timeline?
Well,
Does she
she's supposed to be
arrive in the
after.
80s?
That's why he's up, because she's older than him in canon. But then she's stuck in like the stasis lock, so he ages. That's why he's older than
Yeah,
her.
like she doesn't like come out of she doesn't come out until like he's basically like 25 or 30 years old.
Yeah.
He's been living as Superman for a while before she gets here in like this teenage form.
Exactly.
You know?
One thing
Right.
I do want to ask here to the panel: has anyone read the Supergirl comic books?
No.
No.
Because my understanding
one.
is that Supergirl has never had a good adaptation. All the movies are generally thought of as so bad that they're actually kind of good. They're kind of like trash movies that people enjoy watching because they're so fucking terrible. So the bar here is extremely low. This is very likely to be the best Supergirl movie ever made, even if it is just fine. So there's
only the second one we've had in it. It's only the second one.
There was a TV show.
Yeah, you're thinking of
the TV show. I think was fairly well regarded, or at least it's got like a decent fan base.
And this is only the second film, isn't it? After the Helen Slater one.
Yeah, so you had the '80s movie, which was a complete disaster, but like then they didn't really try again for like decades.
I mean, she was good in Smallville, but she was a side character to Tom Welling's Clark Kent.
My question is, do you have much to work with as a creator? Like, is there much there in the source material?
So they're adapting one of the Tom King runs, which is not exactly highly regarded by fans.
Ryan's right.
Because Tom King's one of the guys guiding this whole DC thing, apparently, anyway, in the writing room. But to go back to the TV show Supergirl, I don't know how well regarded that is. In fact, I feel like we get a lot of memes made up of that Supergirl show.
Right.
I remember the first season when it was on CBS. It was obviously like definitely feminist messaging and stuff like that. But once it got to CW and got to go on the run and they were doing everything they wanted with that universe, every other fucking episode was illegal immigrants, black people, trans people, whatever the fuck. It got so annoying.
Yeah.
There's a bit in this trailer I also want to talk about. I think we're just about. Yeah, why does she need to take a spaceship to get places when she can just literally fly wherever she wants to go?
So, all right. So if she is in a place that has a red sun, she probably will not have her power set, right? So that's why her Kryptonian physiology, which would not prevent her from getting drunk in one place, might allow her to get drunk in a different place because that yellow sun isn't activating her cells.
That's tremendously helpful from a writing point of view, isn't it? Because then you could just have her be a normal person.
Exactly. That seems like something they've actually probably put way more thought into than how she's going to fit in with Superman at all. That's what my assumption will be with this.
Yeah,
it's like it'll be its own movie and it's going to clash hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, because ultimately what they want is she's just going to be another Star-Lord. She's going to be another Star-Lord who has to gang up with a bunch of groovy, fucking quirky, unusual misfits and learn to work with them. Because you already see some of this in it, and it's like if she was just Superman, she'd be way too OP for whatever writing you want to do with her.
Gamora has to kind of convince the team and Star-Lord to care about saving the world, right? It's like that's going to be probably the arc in this film. She doesn't really care. I don't care. It's like, but you do.
She's going to learn to become a real hero by the end. She's going to put aside her cynicism a little bit.
Yeah.
An example where it's like, okay, if this is Superman or her on Earth, like guns aren't going to do dick all to her anyway. So
by the way, I assume everyone's the same here. Like a huge team of guys all aim guns at you, and it's like the music halts. We get what lines are going to be? It's like it's going to be a comedic one. It's not going to be anything else.
It's just James Gunn movie and everything, but I
mean, I'd say that goes beyond James Gunn. That's just movies now. They can't take anything fucking seriously. It's always
right there. She's flying, but she can't fly on this planet.
This movie is making me this trailer is making me feel like mentally and emotionally tired.
Do you think
looking at it,
James Gunn's going to become the new lightning rod for hate that would have gone to Joss Whedon if he was still around?
I kid you not, man. Like my impression of James Gunn, my sort of feelings towards him has gone over the past year from like mild sort of respect for what he's done with Guardians and stuff to apathy to I'm now moving rapidly into like actual annoyance with him and like and his style of filmmaking and his whole view of what superhero movies are. Like,
and he put out one movie and one television show, and that's where you are.
Yeah.
Hey, I started hating him well before that.
Be after this. Because, we did that fucking weird poll on this on Open Bar a few weeks back where it was like
the one that made the news, huh?
Apparently, yeah, Man of Steel or Superman, and it was like 90% in favor of Man of Steel. And I don't think that's like an endorsement of Man of Steel as being a good movie. Certainly not from my subscribers because they're not like Snyder Bros or anything. It's just a complete indictment of James Gunn's vision of Superman. Like they are so fucking tired of it, and it's like the one thing I can say in Snyder's defense, if nothing else, is like he's got some kind of sincerity towards the characters. He like treats them with gravitas. Arguably, he's way too stodgy and serious and dour. But when he's got those scenes with Superman being worshipped by like humanity and stuff, like he's trying for something like genuinely impactful there. It doesn't work, but he believes in it. I don't think James Gunn believes in any of this crap. Like it's just another excuse to do another James Gunn movie in the same James Gunn mold as everything else. It's just Guardians 4.
He's firmly up his own ass at this point. So collapsed in on himself. He's made the same movie a million times, as people have said, and it's just gone depreciated every single time.
You think by this point he would be like, I should probably like vary things up because people are actually starting to point it out to me in like pretty substantial numbers.
I don't think he can.
That might have been the idea with Superman, but he can't do it. Everyone thought that would be the problem with it, and he couldn't break out. He couldn't. The film still has all the issues of a shitty Guardians of the Galaxy movie, basically, among other things.
I think that all of this talk we've heard over the last couple of weeks, especially with the Warner Brothers sale thing up in the air, was, how does the Snyderverse return? How does the Snyderverse return? I think people are getting their hopes up when it comes to that stuff. You're setting yourself up for failure if you actually are buying into that. However, the fact that all these talks are happening months after Superman is released means that it's not this fucking new, incredible universe that so many people are bought into, that so many people have hope for. The truth is, there's more noise out there than before about let's get somebody else in to fix this.
No, you're absolutely right.
Superman was good.
If Superman were a great fucking film, that would have silenced the shit out of that like portion of people. But instead, it's invigorated. It's like, how did it do that? It's a really bad movie.
It didn't even necessarily need to be great. It just needed to make a fuckload of money. Like they were 100% hoping for $1 billion movie out of that. And what you ended up with, it barely scraped over 600 million. And now like people are going to be forever debating whether it made money or broke even or lost money. It doesn't fucking matter. The fact that you're having to have that debate over like narrow margins like that means this was 100% not the success they needed it to be. And if that couldn't succeed, what do you think Supergirl's going to do?
Yeah.
You said this before, and as Ryan said this, so they're adapting this storyline off Woman of Tomorrow, which came out in 2022. Supergirl was created in 1959. So you have 85 years of material. Why do you pick something that came out 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah. Running out of ideas, maybe.
Yeah, but they have 80 years of lore. You pick the current trend of Woman of Tomorrow. There's nothing else you could have picked.
Because it has to fit with a modern audience,
exactly.
Of course. So it has to be contemporary, and it's going to be easier to adapt into his mold.
Still an awkward choice, right? Jason Momoa as Lobo, and it's like, where do you Aquaman?
So far removed from Aquaman, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think Sex Moore is. He actually does look like does look like Lobo.
Well, I stand by it. I don't know if it's controversial. I think he was a bad casting for Aquaman. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
I know it made a shit ton of money, but whatever.
I will say she's a good casting choice for this part, though. That's the one positive thing I'll say. I think she's.
I like how immediately in the shot she looks 13 years old, as opposed to.
Well, there is that.
Let's see if I can bring it back a little bit as well.
I see the truth.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, you hear what she's explaining the difference between Superman and her, right? Like she's the good in everybody. I see the truth.
I don't look at her and think like, oh wow, she's like so statuesque, like she's like a female Superman. She just looks like a little girl in a.
No, I just think she's a good actress.
She's a good actress, yeah. There's no denying
everything
that.
else she's done, so I think she'll probably do a good job. Physically, maybe not the best choice, but from acting capability, I think she can do the job.
Bear in mind as well,
trailer's not reassuring.
They haven't had a lot of time. I mean, they're still going to be working on all of these images until the movie's released, so it's going to look probably a lot better than this by the time they release it.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but this isn't a CGI scene or anything. It's literally like she's just in her outfit.
Yeah, I mean, right now she's 25 years old. Like I said, she looks younger versus other actresses from Stranger Things look like they're double their age.
Well, I'm just saying in this, like she pulls off like 23, 25 throughout the whole trailer. And then in this, for some reason, this shot, I don't know what it is, if the suit or whatever, it makes her look like a bunch younger than she is throughout the rest of the trailer.
Maybe this
probably the soft lighting.
That could have been a test shot that was done really early on, because they'll often do those, costume tests and stuff like this. I mean, this just looks like a promo test to me.
Terrible fucking trailer. Awful fucking trailer. I can't believe.
Hold on.
Countdown for this. What are you talking
about? Like Ryan said it.
What look? Let's try to be as generous as possible. What looks good? So she's a good, reasonably good choice for Supergirl. What else looks good? Just to try to be optimistic.
Lobo.
We got a
Lobo?
shadow of Lobo. We don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah.
I'm being nice.
I mean, the
Lobo.
fact that he's so enthusiastic to play the character, that
Exactly.
you've got that look that's going to work out, is like that's probably the most sort of like, yeah, that you can. We can't say the movie's going to be bad based on the trailer. But we can't say it's going to be good either. So it's just expectations. Seeing him there is like, yeah, that could be a good part of it, I suppose.
Yeah,
It just looks like any other piece of generic superhero slop with a James Gunn filter placed on top of it. That's all I'm getting for it.
Even though I like the actress, there's nothing in that trailer that's making me want to go and watch it on the big screen.
Yeah.
It just looks like another boring superhero movie to me.
That's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be another really meh superhero movie. You can sort of shovel a couple of handfuls of popcorn into your mouth while you watch it move itself across the screen for a couple of hours, and then you've forgotten it 5 minutes after you leave the theater.
I do feel bad in some ways. Like I feel like James Gunn has inherited a bit of an empire in decline. It's like at this point, it's like a house party at 3 a.m. when everyone's either passed out or heading home, and then he comes in with like a tray of shots, going like, "All right, let's get this party started." Yeah, no one's interested.
Wouldn't the better analogy is he comes in with a tray of Molotovs and starts tossing them everywhere? It's like, what the fuck are you doing, James? And he's like, what? I'm having some fun, man. Just relax. And I was going to say, by the way, predictions. What's everyone thinking about box office for Supergirl? What do you reckon?
400 million.
350.
Yeah,
and that's being generous.
350.
I don't think it'll hit 400 million. It doesn't. I think to hit 400 million, it would need to be a reasonably good movie, and it looks very mediocre. So I could say I could see it doing an okay opening weekend, followed by a massive drop after bad word of mouth. So it's probably going to be really bad. Like I could see it being sub 300.
That's disastrous in this case. It's not a cheap movie to make.
You know, the one argument that people will be like, there's no world in which Supergirl makes more than Superman. It's like, well, Wonder Woman did make more money than Man of Steel. But I don't think we have a repeat of that here.
No.
This is a very different world we're living in now with superhero movies and like their public perception.
Like, right, I've seen a decent amount of your coverage of Badlands box office. It's been fucking hilarious. Having you seen you react to people saying you're wrong on it. Same with us over on EFAB, of course. It's been a nightmare. But you looking forward to that next round with fucking Supergirl? Everyone being like, actually, it only needs to make $1 at the box office. Don't worry about it.
They could have just burned all their money up, and they still would have made money on this because of the good word of mouth. It's like, okay, thanks.
I think
Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong.
Favorite headline was
end of June is like a primary release date for an American movie, right? Coming into the summer, June 26th. That's a prime spot. You'd give that to a movie that you want to do well. So that's the release date, 26th of June, 2026. So they're obviously, they're giving it prime position.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it's going to be matched up against.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. More superhero films, probably, I would imagine.
I mean, possibly, yeah, or sequels or whatever. But yeah, like when you were talking about the Predator Badlands coverage, like my favorite was that fucking IGN headline where it's like, it's
the highest
officially
grossing one at the box office,
the highest grossing movie of the franchise. It's like,
just fuck off.
It's so annoying to have to make this argument again and again, but it's like, fucking inflation is a thing, okay?
It's true. It is sitting at slightly higher than Alien vs. Predator, which came out in 2004, which was made on a budget of like $60 million.
That's crazy.
And it's strange how
the original Predator was done on a budget of $15 million, and it made like $98 million, and this is in 1987 dollars. Like the profit margins on that movie were crazy. This is losing money for the studio.
Well,
it doesn't matter how you try and slice it. Like it's lost money.
On Twitter, remember VHS sales, because Matt Damon famously said that, stuff like Bourne, Austin Powers, John Carpenter, he only had a career because of VHS sales. So how much more did Predator do on VHS sales and syndication?
Yeah.
Is Badlands on digital now as well?
I'm pretty sure it's going in January. Is it still being shilled online? Because when it came out, I was actually getting private messages from like Badlands shills because I put out a tweet saying it was shite. But has that gone away? Because it's kind of speed running the arc you usually see, like when you saw with Alien Romulus Ass, where it has this sort of shield them online and then everybody realizes it's shit and they go away. But I haven't seen that much. I haven't seen much in terms of people defending Predator Badlands after, say, the opening weekend and the box office collapse. It's like people very quickly realized, oh yeah, this is fucking terrible.
I don't know. I think we were still getting some. I'm sure they're all legit accounts and they're definitely not bots or anything. But yeah,
because it's indefensible. Like when you think about it, I have it as like the 5th, 6th worst movie of the year.
It's
Bad
pretty
ones.
bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Isn't that fucking hilarious? The 5th or 6th worst when it's terrible. Like, wait, what?
Before the
there's
end
so
of the
many
year,
other choices. There's
I know. Well, that's it. Like before the end of the year, I'm trying to compile my list of like worst movies and TV shows of 2025.
So I did it recently, and it is, the margins are so close. It's really tough.
Alien Earth is up there.
TV's a rich hunting ground these days. Like you've got Last of Us season 2, Alien Earth,
that's really tough.
Fucking Ironheart. Like there's been absolute shite on TV this year, and it's all big franchise stuff.
I think the last scene of Alien Earth kind of pinched it. I think it just got it over the line ahead of everybody else.
Imagine The Last of Us 2 comes out and someone tells you that is not going to be the worst show this year. There's going to be worse. That is impressive.
Not only do they tell you as a TV show adaptation it's worse than the game, it's not the worst thing that came out the year. That's insane.
The MauLer's right. Yeah.
It did have the best line of dialogue in any TV show ever.
That was good.
Was that?
I'm gonna be a dad.
Isabella Merced was in that and in Superman.
Yeah.
Wasn't she in
the one web that connects
Romulus
them all?
as well?
Which one does she get fingered in? I forget.
That's Last of Us. Yeah, gets fingered by fucking Trollface.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. You can tell she's a good actor because she didn't manage to like look disgusted or terrified.
Yeah, after she says she's pregnant, so
that's the most unbelievable thing about The Last of Us. Not that like zombie apocalypse, all this shit. It's the fact that Isabella Merced would be eating that thing. There's no fucking way.
And I was getting criticized in my Last of Us video for making fun of fucking Potato Head's face. Here's the thing, right? When you make me watch an actress finger bang a fucking model, her looks are fair game. That's when they become fair game. Before that, fair enough. But when you're forcing me to watch sex scenes, then I get to make fun of how she looks. That's the deal.
Despot, it's the apocalypse. It's slim pickings.
Yes, if you are telling us that she is a sexual object, we're allowed to comment on how believable that is in this world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was the memes around it that were just they were pure gold. Like that screen grab they managed to get where she's firing at the infected on like a subway car or something. God. It was like fucking shopping trolley wheels be like, and then it'd be like Elizabeth Merced, and then just her. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, was she in Alien Romulus as well, Merced? Or am I mixing that up with someone else?
No, that wasn't. There was a different like Latina chick in it though, yeah.
Yeah. They look a bit similar.
I was gonna say, like, she has been popping up in a bunch of places, huh?
You're mixing up your finger banging, MauLer, again.
Isabella Merced was in Madam Web.
Oh yeah.
That masterpiece.
Oh Christ.
Yeah.
That's right.
Iconic fucking movie, dude.
Is she
movie is iconic, MauLer?
What now?
I mean, it gave us Sydney Sweeney, I suppose.
Fucking yes. That's one of my favorite movies that came out that year.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Fucking love it.
I wish they made more like that instead of stuff. Like we've there's a lost art of bad films, I'd say.
Yeah, like where is my spider? They took my spider. What a brilliant line.
Oh, wait, MauLer, were you asking about Alien Romulus the movie or Alien Earth?
Romulus the movie.
She is in Romulus, yes.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah. She's everywhere.
She got figured back by an alien in that one.
That's the one that gets pregnant like really super fast.
Yeah. That gives birth to fucking the lanky dude.
That fucking movie.
Yeah, I hate the way they changed the cycle in that.
It's like there's a lot of things to hate about that.
Conveniently fit the plot,
Somebody said we all remember 28 Days Later. I do remember it. I was so excited for that movie, and it let me down so much.
Dude, 28 Years Later has let me down to the point where I'm not remotely interested in seeing the sequel. Especially, it's not even Danny Boyle, right? Or I guess he wrote it, but he didn't. That's
It
I
just
don't know.
Them
near
like back to
DaCosta,
back,
isn't it?
whatever. It's like coming out in January, and I don't even care about it.
I mean, the fact that it's coming out in January should tell you a lot about how much confidence they have in it. Like that's a rough month for a movie
That
release.
whole Power Rangers ending.
Well, I can't wait to see where they take the Jimmy Savile plotline. Is that what we're talking about?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny as well because Americans must be scratching their heads like, "What the fuck is this?" What's
You're
with the
right.
tracksuits?"
Unless they've seen the Steve Coogan drama, in which case
they won't have.
No,
I had no fucking idea what was going on. I just assumed it was like the rest of the fucking movie.
Ryan, I got home.
Here's one, right? Let me ask you guys: do you guys even remember watching The Electric State? That was a movie that cost like $300 million to make.
I was thinking about that the other day, funnily enough, that film, because it was super expensive. The one that kind of looked like Fallout Las Vegas, right? With all the weird creatures and things. Yeah, I mean, like, what a colossal waste of money. It could have been good.
Because at least Madam Web was remembered, right? It's going to be remembered until the day we die. But like,
he's not wrong.
Was remembered.
But the electric state evaporated into nothingness. Huh?
Yeah, it's like I have to remind, because I was going back through my old reviews and like, okay, trying to like compile my list of movies to talk about for this year. I was like, oh fuck, that was a movie that existed, and I watched it.
Yeah.
I thought that was last year. I thought that came out last year. Did that not come out
this
last
year?
year?
This year, beginning of this year.
Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown.
And Woody Harrelson is Mr. Peanut.
It's like, how can a movie make so little impression on you for $300 million? I just don't understand it.
Avatar's about to come out, so
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen Madam Web, so it made more of an impression on me than that. You guys
got to see Madam Web.
You guys convinced me not to watch Madam Web. Thank you very much. I didn't watch it.
That's the hard sell after 2024.
Well, that's if you can watch it.
If all bad movies were like Madam Web or better in that front, I wouldn't even be that sad or mad about like movies being shit. I'd just be like, this is fucking hilarious. You know, like that War of the Worlds one everyone's talked about.
Yeah, War of the Worlds is up there with Madam Web. I would, it is the trashter piece of 2025.
I think War of the Worlds may be the best film this year.
It is one of the better ones.
Talking about the Ice Cube one, I thought you were talking about the Tom Cruise one, and I'm like, well, hold on, you might not like it.
I have that as number 13 on my worst movies of the year because I'm working on the video at the minute, and because it's fun to watch, like it's got redeeming aspects, but the 12 below it are just like this isn't fun anymore. This is just depressing. This is just it's bad.
Yeah,
misery.
One of Drinker's mods had me watch War of the Worlds, and I cried laughing. This
good shit, man.
It's a masterpiece in all the wrong reasons.
Need more of them. Need more of that.
They're great unifiers. Like everyone can just come together and just mock it, and it's great.
Oh, there's a brilliant quote I discovered for War of the Worlds on its Wikipedia. I think verbatim it is principal photography lasted 2 weeks, post-production lasted 2 years.
What? 2 years?
All that stock footage of like
on War of the Worlds
military stuff.
Yeah, they worked really hard.
Damn, that's a long time, man.
It's brilliant because I'm convinced if you gave me the footage, I could put together something better in a week.
I'm not sure.
Well, you should do a special edit on it.
And when I say better, I mean more competent. Just wouldn't be as entertaining.
Literally, like 90% of the movie is just like Ice Cube reacting to stuff, like oh, like oh no.
It's amazing. I watched that entire film drinking a bottle of Jack Daniel's Blackberry, and by the end, I was sober. It's magnificent. I'm like, how did this happen?
This movie turned me sober. Wow. Let me answer a couple of super chats just before we move on here. Let's one from Crimson Born for $50 says, maybe this is just me using my brain, but if Disney didn't want to put too much thought into the duels, why not use, I believe, Darth Bane's mentally of a saber for a heavy hitting or fast hitting? But I guess that would make too much sense. This is obviously the lightsaber fights that we were talking about with Ahsoka, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's so annoying because one of the reasons they're different is because they're different. Period. Remember in the prequels, you get all like the little metal sticks. They use the reflective technology on to show you what the lightsaber looks like. Yeah. Now they use real lightsabers that have more weight to them that they get the reflecting light off of. And I think they honestly just like it because they get the way the light reflects on surfaces, which is harder to animate in and everything. But the problem is it just slows everything down in such a way that it looks like they're encumbered because they are compared to how we used to see them fight. And none of it
the
looks good.
exchange, and especially because you got to think there's got to be advanced tech now that you can easily create what effect they're going for there without then losing all of that speed. So I've always hated like the angle. People can hate the prequel as much as they want, but to say like, oh, the fights were terrible. There was no like impact. There's nothing character wise, whatever. It's just like, come on, calm down. You can hate everything about them if you want, but not that.
Yeah, because I mean, I know, Ryan, you know that they said Hayden and Ewan broke how many, like 50, 60 lightsabers, the props, because they were hitting each other that hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You go through a lot of them, I would imagine.
Do it a different way, though.
Yeah.
Which should probably go
Isn't
back.
it like
David Price
well,
broke a lot of them back in the OT as well. Like, partly because he couldn't see properly, and partly because he's so fucking huge. Like you just overhit with it.
Wonder that Ewan McGregor was so fast with Darth Maul that they had to slow it down. So
yes,
apparently, yeah.
They had to like with the scene where when Obi-Wan first, like after Qui-Gon's sitting there dead, and when Ewan races out there, that first little exchange they have that everyone's done if you fucking have ever messed around before, like blocking it in front, blocking it in back, then blocking it in front again with the 2-2-2 from Darth Maul. That was so fast. You're right. They had to slow it down. They had to unclock it because it looked too fast on screen when they performed.
If there is, I don't know
if
you pick different, right? But is a handful of seconds of favorite choreography in all of Star Wars. It probably is that. Like, it's so fucking cool.
Like, who is not pretended that you were Obi-Wan fighting Maul at some point in your life and done that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've watched the scene on YouTube at 0.5 speed, and it's still fast at half speed. So, like Ryan said, that's him slowing down. That's how fast Ewan was, man. Like,
let's see if we can get Rosario Dawson to do that scene. Imagine.
I always loved that moment for how shocked Darth Maul seems to be. He's like, "What the fuck? Like, broke my lightsaber, you asshole."
What's this one? No wonder I caught super chlamydia in that Red Sun Planet frat house. Yeah, I mean, like, what can we say? She's a party girl and she parties pretty hard.
I think she's actually just doing what Superman's calling was: go forth, spread your legs, go forth, spread your seed. Like, she's just getting in with the Kryptonian way, you know?
There you go.
I mean, it's probably easier for him to spread his seed than vice versa, but yeah, sure.
He gets one egg a month. She's got to go off planet.
Well,
bet the Supergirl's going to have an OnlyFans. Probably.
She probably will.
She's going to have a body count like Joseph Stalin, man. It's going to be...
Death by Snooze, too.
Yeah, George the Giant Slayer. Drinker, truth, justice, whatever. Supergirl didn't get the motto. She got a mood disorder and a breakup text. I mean, it's so try hard, man. It's so played out. It's like so wannabe edgy and like, oh, we're so different because she's a messed up, crazy party girl and she doesn't want to be a hero. It's like, okay, how many other movies have we seen this in at this point? It's getting pretty fucking old, man.
You don't get a drink. You're not a young man like James Gunn.
Yeah,
well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And we keep lumping this onto James Gunn. It's like, you know, technically he didn't write or direct this movie, but
yeah.
Whatever. You can see his strings. It's obvious.
Yeah. It's like his greasy fingerprints are all over fucking every inch of it.
Had 3 writers, didn't it? So there you go.
Here's a question from Mega Spidey Man. Drinker and panel, favorite Obi-Wan Kenobi in anything moments and why those? To all favorite Yoda moments in anything and why those? Well, I liked Yoda in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like, I didn't expect to see him there, but holy shit, man, he rocked that fucking show.
I fucking love Yoda pretending, like trolling Luke when he first meets him. I love it when he rummages in his shit and starts tossing it out.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Luke's such an impatient piece of shit. He's like, nope, won't train you, you fuck boy.
But he's eating that little like sausage or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
He's funny. He's fighting with R2 is my favorite.
Mine. Yeah, well,
yeah.
I think it gets funnier knowing all the history. Like, he's just like, whatever. Luke doesn't know who I am. I can fuck around. I can pretend to be a little toad, just trying to.
I think it's funnier when you imagine just out of screen, there's a man with his hand up Yoda's ass, like doing all this. Like that. That's what I think is funnier.
No, Yoda was fantastic in The Acolyte.
Oh, God,
fuck off.
Just fuck off.
He was as good as Plagueis.
Like I said, Obi-Wan was so fantastic. He could hide a 10-year-old girl between his legs in a trench coat. Nobody noticed.
Oh, that
masterful writing, right?
My favorite Obi-Wan moment is in Revenge of the Sith when he decides the best way to step off of Padme's ship is with his hands on his hips like they just got done fucking. That's my favorite Obi-Wan moment.
You have done that yourself. Nailed it, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, they're right here. Nia DaCosta on Bone Temple is a strange choice. I do not know how or why she got picked for that. It's a weird one. But I don't know. I mean, it's a January release, as MauLer was saying. Like, the 28 years later has gone down a bit in my estimation since I've seen it. I feel like at the time I was a little bit taken by like some of the early scenes, like the emotion of the moments between his, the main character and his dad when they're like trying to go on their little scouting mission stuff. I thought that stuff was really good. I did like some of the themes of like, him having to let go of his mother because she can't be saved, and the growing up aspect of it. It's a coming of age movie in some ways. So some of that worked well. It's just like the whole is somehow way less than the sum of its parts in that movie.
Drinker, your favorite actress is in the new one. I bet you can't wait. Erin.
Oh, is it Ginger Jesus?
Erin Kellyman is in the new one.
Hopefully she's a zombie.
I think this could be the end. This could be the tail end of her push. I think.
I thought it was already over. But yeah, I feel like when we first watched that trailer, I feel like we were kind of sold on the first 20 minutes of that movie, which I thought was really fucking good.
I go Ryan.
And then they really turned that up on its head with the dad getting caught with this other girl and the mom being sick and the boy stepping up to do all this. And I thought some of it was interesting, but it was not the movie that I felt like I was going to see. I think that was a big problem I had with it. And then I think it's spectacularly shot. Like, I think that's a movie that someone had a very direct vision of what they wanted to do and got to do everything they wanted, which sometimes movies don't feel like that. But I didn't like the choices they made, the things that they showed us after what I felt like the movie was going to be about.
I think as well, like just the abruptness of the mom's death is really jarring, where it's like, okay, I found out that I've got terminal cancer and stuff. Like that's obviously tragic. Might have like a few weeks, maybe even a month or so to go. I'd like to spend some time with my son and, really like make the most of my remaining days, try and like be the best parent I can before I'm gone. Instead, she's just like, well, guess I'll go die now. And then just immediately gets killed. And then he gets presented with the skull. It's like, that is the
wanted to
personification of too soon, bro.
Explain to the son what was going to happen too, instead of drugging him. That was a decision.
That was a decision. Yeah, it was a strange movie in a lot of ways.
And
it's
not like learning so much about the way things work and the way life works in this little place, only for it to not really be needed much throughout the movie. Like, I thought that was interesting, the way that their community works, the way they stay protected, all that shit. And I really wish the dad would be able to get out there at least and look for the son at some point in this entire fucking thing.
That was the
he just
big
kind of
flaw
waits,
for me.
doesn't he?
He's put on pause. The writers like just keep him chained into the island. He's not allowed to do anything, which sucks because I was quite invested in what he was going to do.
Yeah, like what are the ramifications if he doesn't listen to those people and goes anyway? Like, there are just a lot of things I thought you could have done in that world that were at least as compelling, if not more so, than sad boy, crazy dying mom, like, and pregnant fucking zombies.
Oh, that! Remember when the infected were genuinely terrifying, and then like they've reduced them to that, like just holding hands with her and helping her give birth. Why are you doing this? These are terrifying monster creatures that will tear you limb from limb if they get.
Do the discussions on it being like, see the zombies. There's more to them than you realize. They misunderstood. Don't do it for zombies. Jesus, like, come on.
Please spare us. Let me ask you guys yet another question.
There we go.
Yeah. Remember Kristen Stewart? I was gonna say she was a big deal. She was a deal. She was a deal back in the Twilight days from 10 years
Donald
ago.
Trump's ever tweeted about you. You're a big deal,
Yeah. She's back. she's not back in like a big budget movie or anything.
In
Like
dog
where
form.
she's yeah, she's here complaining about stuff because
Really,
I
Drinker,
think
there's a Hollywood actress is complaining about something. No,
it truly is a tale as old as time. A starlet hits the wall, and suddenly those roles dry up, and she's got two options, as far as I can see: either get them out, or start complaining about the patriarchy keeping her down. Right. So in Kristen's case, that's not an option. One is not really a goer. None of us want to see them because she's kind of repulsive. So it's got to be option two, and she laid into this. This is from the New York Post, so you know it's a good source. She was talking here about the difficulties that she has of getting the projects made that she wants to make, because you know clearly if you're an actor, you should just be able to make what you want. Like people should just give you hundreds of millions of dollars to make the movies you want. She says we're at a pivotal nexus. This is her quote, by the way, because I think we're ready for a full system break. You know what I mean? Not really. I mean that across the board, and also specifically to the world that I live in, which is very exclusively the entertainment industry. We need to sort of start stealing our movies. I'm so appreciative of the unions. Trust me, we wouldn't survive without them. I mean, I'd be cautious on that one. But some of the terms and some of the rules and some of the structures we've set up have created barriers to artists to express themselves. She says, I think having it be so impossible for people to tell stories and having it be such an exclusive and rarefied position to be in and find yourself doing so, it's capitalist hell, and it hates women and it hates marginalized voices, and it's racist. I think we need to figure out a way to make it easier to speak to each other in cinematic terms. It's too hard to make movies right now that aren't blockbustery. Whatever proven equations. That is a fucking incomprehensible word salad, but the gist is it's all the patriarchy's fault for keeping her back from making blockbuster movies, essentially.
Well, I'd like to address one point of hers, if I may, seeing as she is lumping me in there as one of the people who works in the industry full time. First of all, it is hard to make a movie, full stop, regardless of what level you're at, whether you're trying to make a small independent one or whether you're trying to make a big budget one. It's hard. And I've got 3 friends at the moment. They're all massive names. Everybody in the chat would have heard of them. They've all got big projects in with either Netflix or Amazon or Paramount, you know, pitch decks. They've got big names attached. They're still having problems making that deal and getting that green light. You know why? Because there are 50 to 200 other people all at their level, all doing the same thing. There's loads of people at her level. You look at her career sheet. It's not a small sheet. She's got a lot of credits on IMDb. She's had a very successful career as an actress. You can argue the toss over the quality of the product that she's done, but she's worked and she's got a lot of credits. And there's a lot of people at her level who are trying to get projects made that can't. It's not like she's the only one and she's worries me and, oh, there's all these things against me because of this. That's utter nonsense. Everybody else has the same problem right from the top all the way down to the bottom. Putting the finance together and the names and all the other elements to make a film is difficult. It always has been. And I think maybe she's just finding that out now because it's all been given to her in the past. I don't know. But
well, I was going to try and touch on this because I kind of made this point on Twitter the other day where it's like if you're a hot young starlet who, you know, gets their break in some movie, you are essentially playing life on easy mode, and that's lovely. Yeah. But the problem is you assume that you're succeeding purely on your own talents and merits and stuff, and it's not. It's like the world is definitely doing you a favor and making things easier for you. But the problem is you eventually hit that wall where you get older, you age out of that role, and you're not the hot young new thing anymore. You're not flavor of the month. And suddenly you have to try and like compete on the same level playing field as everyone else, but you're going to see it as oppression, and the world has suddenly turned against you and made everything super hard for you. It hasn't. It's just stopped pretending to care about you anymore. That's the problem. And, you know, going by a purely, you know, casting director point of view, who wouldn't want to cast this in their movie? I mean, it's just... It speaks to Hollywood glamour right there.
2 more shots, Drinker, I swear.
I think this comes from a place not only of where are the roles for me, but I think Kristen Stewart is one of those like true believers out there in terms of like what they should be talking about. And if the top 10 movies at the box office this year were all like gay and lesbian themed and shit like that, I don't think Kristen Stewart says something like this. I think the problem is not movies that are getting made that have your specific societal view that you want to push out there and all these things, because that's ultimately what she's talking about. She's talking about movies that are made by women, for gays, for all these like marginalized groups. That's what she's talking about here.
Yeah.
A lot of those movies are made. Tons of those shows are made. That you can find a million of them on Netflix or wherever the fuck, but not a lot of people watch them. So I think this is the problem that's going on with her. She thinks that more people need to be paying attention to these things that are made. And she equates that to, well, if it has a bigger budget, if it has this, if it has that. Because the truth is those types of movies that she's talking about get made all the fucking time.
Okay, and
yeah, that's 100% the thing. And like how many hundreds of millions of dollars have been wasted on shite like that no one wants? Like people like in her little sphere care about it, but no one else does.
It doesn't matter what kind of budget you throw at those movies. They never get the box office because they're very niche. An example is the Italian director Luca Guadagnino. He's gay and he directs gay stuff, like he did Call Me by Your Name. And last year he did a movie called Queer. It was and it came out internationally in mid-2025. It was a gay awards bait movie. And it had a budget of $56 million, and it made $7 million at the box office. Okay, it doesn't matter how much money you pump into this. It's a terrible movie, by the way. It doesn't matter how much money you pump into this bollocks. The audience isn't there. Nobody wants to go watch a movie, and this happens in the movie. You've got two guys fucking, one of them gives the other a blowjob and then kisses the cum into his lover's mouth. Okay.
I mean, who wouldn't want to see that?
Mainstream audiences don't want to pay to watch that.
Is that Daniel Craig doing that?
That was Daniel Craig,
in that movie.
He was good. He was good in the movie.
He was good. All right.
Yeah.
He didn't have to act very much.
But yeah, like when I see her now, like if I was a casting director, I would look at her and be like, she's going to be a fucking problem. Like if we hire her for any movie that's not like an LGBT activist movie, she's going to be a fucking nightmare to work with, and we just don't need that. Because outside of, I was going to say, like outside of the Twilight movies, she did that one was it Snow White and the Huntsman?
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yes.
Yeah.
She did that, and then it's essentially been low budget garbage ever since then. Like her career has gone nowhere because she's not
wasn't
that
she
good of
in
an actor.
the Charlie's Angels reboot? What do you mean?
Actually,
Well,
her career tanked. Her career tanked after Charlie's Angels. I've actually got her filmography here, so it goes. And I don't think anyone on the panel will know any of these. So you've got Charlie's Angels that tanked, and then Underwater, Happiest Season, Spencer. She actually played Princess Diana in that, apparently. Crimes of the Future, Love Me, Love Lies Bleeding, and Sacramento. I'd never heard of any of those.
Spencer got quite a bit of press because she played Princess Diana. She got some nominations for that. She did do a pretty good job in that. I did see it. Not a bad performance.
It's funny. Underwater isn't terrible. Like it's actually an
I like the movie.
Movie. Yeah, like I don't think it's necessarily. She's fine. I don't think she made it better or worse. She's just.
That's the one with the monster. It's got a monster in it, right?
Yeah.
Sure does have a monster.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was particularly huge budget, and I don't think it made much of an impact. Like
I thought it flopped. Like I think it did bad. But,
It had a budget of $50 million.
So what she is now is essentially a washed-up 35-year-old actress who doesn't have the body of work to, because I think she's at that age as well where like as an actress you either ascend to like the A-list, you do like a Scarlett Johansson where you're going to have like appeal that's going to last you for the next decade just because you're such high profile, or you just fade into irrelevance and you get forgotten and the next like generation of talent comes in, and she's kind of in the latter category. And that's a harsh fucking reality, but at the same time you're probably a multi-millionaire at this point from the movies you've done, so I don't think you've got too much to complain about.
Director to the panel, so it's Charlie's Angels, so her version 2019 budget was almost 50 million, did 73 million. And then,
well, according to the Superman people, you know, their kind of maths, that's a super successful movie. Yeah,
holy
should
cow.
have 5 sequels.
the other
Don't
one,
forget her directing career. She's gone into directing and writing and directing now. She's just done a feature film, 2025. The chronology of.
I'm sure that's going to be a big success. I like this one as well. I can fix her. No, you can't.
Charlie's Angels had a fan base. The 2001 with Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu, that one did almost 300 million globally, and that was in 2000. So if it comes out,
movie,
yeah,
well, one was for men and one was for women.
Oh yeah,
they're all right.
But they have at least an audience first. Her version bombed. At least the other ones were successful financially.
That's
other ones
such an
weren't
interesting comparison
scolding.
because the ones from the early 2000s, they understood the assignment. It's like they were
Exactly.
kind of cheeky and playful, and like they knew how goofy they were, and they just leaned into it.
Yep.
The 2019 version tried to be like way more badass, and the girls were actually like kicking ass and stuff, and it's like it just leeches all the fun out of it.
And that's what's scary. It does half the box office budget 20 years later.
Yeah.
Well, that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah. It's well, sorry, Kristen. You had a good career, or you had a career, I guess.
She hit it big with those Twilight movies. I'm sure she can sign autographs for forever because of those.
She peaked early, yeah.
Yeah, Shadow'll probably go to get some more.
Drinker, you might end up in a booth next to her at a convention. You never know your luck.
I will have truly fallen if I have. I think I'd go to a different convention if that was the case.
There was a Marvel convention where like Brie Larson was doing a Q&A, and I don't think she could even get 30 people in to come and listen to her. Do you remember?
I would have
that?
listened. I would have listened to her.
Seriously?
I would have listened.
I would be, I'd like to ask some questions.
I would have said, "Go Bree."
Look, I told all y'all
Marvel
motherfuckers. I told all y'all motherfuckers that I was gonna be the one that like made her see the light after she liked that tweet of mine. Just saying, she hadn't been out there in the world spewing anything bad. She hadn't said anything wrong. Just saying.
What do you reckon, Ryan? What's the odds? Captain Marvel cameo in Doomsday?
I don't think they're great. I think everyone will be back in Secret Wars. Like, even if it's for a 2-second, like, computer generated image. Yeah. Like, I think they're going to try to, like, do everything, even if that person doesn't speak. But for Doomsday, I'm not saying there's not a chance, but maybe 25% chance.
Well, there's a suspicious lack of women in Doomsday, as we've heard from Grace Randolph, and that's not going to stand. We need to even the playing field a little bit and get more women in there. Captain Marvel is surely the best choice of all, naturally.
I think it's funny because, look, the target audience has a point. That you have trained that audience to assume that half the people in these movies are going to be black and gay or women or whatever, and then you come out with a cast that doesn't represent that. What are they supposed? They've been the target fan base for the past 5 years. Why should they expect anything else?
That's right.
Sad. Anyway, well, such is life, I guess. The only other thing I wanted to ask you guys about briefly was, so who the hell is going to be buying Warner Brothers? At the moment, we've got Netflix. We've got Paramount mounting a hostile takeover bid. Netflix bid like $86 billion for it. Paramount's now come in at like $104 billion, I think, for a hostile. They've gone straight to the shareholders, actually.
It's really the Ellison family that are behind that hostile bid. You know who they are, and they started Skydance production, or David Ellison did. David Ellison is the son of Larry Ellison, who is a multi-billionaire. David Ellison is also a multi-billionaire. I mean, Larry Ellison, he basically did software for the CIA. So that's how he got started, with his various software components and stuff and things like that. So these people are not short of a few quid, and that's before they gather the other people around their camp to put in with them. So yeah, it's and I know why they want it, but if Netflix wins this bid, let's just understand this all now, including everybody watching in the chat. Netflix's business model is to keep people on their sofas watching television. Just understand what that means. They have no interest in getting people in the cinema. They don't make money on selling popcorn and hot dogs and all the rest of it. They have no 100%. They want to get you on your sofa, watching films there and not leaving your house. So it's going to be, I mean, we're already at the beginning of the end, really. And
it seems our goals are aligned with Netflix. That's all I want to do. I think you're 100% right that I don't think that either of these things are good for the industry in general, because it's just one less studio, one less major competition that gets swallowed up by everybody else.
Yeah.
But I do think that the entertainment industry is much less stressed, I suppose, if Paramount buys it than if Netflix buys it, because Netflix can say everything they want about no intention to change anything. We know that as soon as this deal goes through, those windows are going to get shorter and shorter for theatrical, and it is only going to hasten the fall of theaters as we know.
I think here's a question, right? Because like even if Paramount does succeed and buys them, right, aren't you just delaying the inevitable? This is a like seismic shift that's happening regardless of what you do.
Yeah,
like it might put it back by a couple more years, but like what you're going to see ultimately is more of these tech companies buying over Hollywood studios and just folding them into what they do. You know, Amazon, Apple, like they've got they make such insane amounts of money that like making films is just like a fun little side project for them.
Yeah,
that's where we're at now, and like Hollywood can't compete with that, and like cinemas can't compete with that. As people in chat are like going nuts with this, saying like, well, it would be easier if the cinema experience wasn't so fucking awful now. And it is for a lot of people. It's so time consuming. It's late. It wastes so much of your day. You've got to sit in with a bunch of assholes who can like interrupt your viewing experience anytime they want. It's you know, like the food and everything costs a fortune. And for what? To see it on a bigger screen than you have at home? Like most people can afford a fucking home cinema.
We've lost the atmosphere of the event. That's the other thing that's gone. I mean, I would go to the opening night of every Lord of the Rings movie in Leicester Square without fail, because I wanted that atmosphere of being surrounded by 1,000 people who were all up there for the same reason as me. They were all hanging on those key moments. The last time that happened with a film was absolutely ages ago. I have to say, I'm horrible to admit this, but I think it was probably The Force Awakens was probably the last film I went to in Leicester Square where it was packed. And of course, we were all keen. We were all hoping Force Awakens was going to be great. And it was a bit discombobulated mumblings when we all came out the cinema. But that atmosphere, we went for that atmosphere. We went for that collective experience. Now, that doesn't really exist anymore, and it's not just the changes in the cinema. We don't have the product. We don't have the product that's cultivating that atmosphere and all of us together, you know, hanging on that movie coming out, waiting for that experience. We're all excited. Unfortunately, that's gone, and it's really sad that it's gone. It's a real shame. I think we had it with Top Gun Maverick was a good one. I was at the opening of that in Leicester Square twice, actually. And that was good.
Well, I think on a cultural level as well, you're losing that ability to actually focus on one thing for a couple of hours.
Yeah, especially kids. Kids can't do that.
Exactly, because they've been raised on a diet of TikTok and social media and stuff, and so like they're used to having like 3 different screens around them at any time, and like it's just a constant input of like dopamine hits and like very short-term stimulation. So the idea of like just giving their complete attention to a movie for 2 hours or even more in some cases, like fucking Avatar is going to be like 3 hours and 15 minutes. Doing that is just like abhorrent to them. It goes against everything that they've done their whole lives. So it's no wonder that like more and more of them are just checking out of going to the cinema. They'd rather just wait a few weeks, see it at home. You can have your phone out. You can be like doing whatever on that while the movie's playing in the background.
Drinker, just curious the entire panel. So K-pop Demon Hunters, Netflix bought that off Sony. They put out for the theater release for the weekend. They were #1. They put Frankenstein out limited, but also Stranger Things, love or hate it. They're putting out the finale in theaters. So Netflix, they did say they want to put small different films in theaters. Like, what is their financial incentive? Because like K-pop Demon Hunters did like 40 million over the weekend. It was a 1 weekend thing, but like they don't seem like they really want the death of theaters, because they are putting films out slowly into theaters for 1 week at a time.
Yeah, they're doing it now and then. I don't understand the mentality of that. Maybe it's just to test the waters to see how often they can do it and make a substantial profit to make it worthwhile. And I'd love to see that continue.
I think it's a stunt with things like Stranger Things, like to be able to say like, oh, this is such a big deal. It's actually crossed over from the realms of TV streaming into theatrical. Like people are seeing this fucking show in the cinemas. It's that big of a deal. And so that in turn drives enthusiasm for the show itself, which means people will watch it more at home.
That one specifically because so Netflix is getting nothing from the Stranger Things release. And that has a lot to do with how television shows are classified and they can't get these box office releases or whatever. But all that money is going straight to cinemas. Netflix doesn't see a dime from any of the Stranger Things stuff that's happening.
Why? You can't have the distributors get like 100% of the revenue. That's crazy.
That's what they're doing. They're doing like as like for the sale, they're just doing concession vouchers. So all of it's going straight to the fucking theaters, the cinema.
I wanted to write about that because a friend of mine wants to stream Stranger Things, the finale. I bought 2 tickets for me and my kid. The tickets were $22. The ticket actually says concession right there. It says concession ticket.
Whoa.
But so the ticket says voucher for 1 small popcorn, 1 small soda. So it's $22, $11 a ticket. So like Ryan said, I think it's like they're not getting nothing off that. So it's a curious why they're doing it for.
Well,
yeah, that's what they're doing.
Be like an awards consideration thing.
It's not because I mean you don't have to like those are just the same as anything, right? That's not all of a sudden going to get a consideration for a movie release. It'll just be in TV shows like just with everything else. I literally think they just want it to give something back to the fans and who are all like to be excited about it all in one place. I honestly think that's it. And I think it's them throwing a bone to theaters as well because theaters have been pissy with them. So they're going to give them something that's just fucking pure profit, get people excited, do really good PR for their show because they sold out in minutes. In minutes, the 500 theaters that had it across the country sold out to the point where they had to add more showings and stuff like that. So
I mean, I'll give them their due. This could be it's the first big event piece of TV that we've had in years, and it might be the last one ever.
Yeah,
because this is a show that dates back to before, like, you know, the current era of Hollywood that we live in. Like the first season of Stranger Things was like 2016. It's that old.
Yeah, nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah, and so it coming to an end, it does feel like a TV event, but like I don't know if we're ever going to see anything on this scale again. Like this is kind of a unique situation.
You know, I read something interesting about the Warner acquisition, which will probably surprise a lot of people. Warner's annual revenue is actually bigger than Netflix's. So Warner's revenue last year was 41 billion, whereas Netflix's was 39 billion.
What was their profit though?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the debt is the other big thing. So I'm thinking people sort of see this as a done thing, but Netflix aren't as big as a lot of people think in terms of their revenue and profit. And also, can they handle the debt that Warner has, which is very significant?
The difference is that Netflix's revenue is guaranteed though, because it's a monthly subscription model, whereas like every fucking movie release with a Hollywood studio is a gamble.
It's true, but most of Warner's revenue is coming in from, you know, the many movies they've put out over the years through licensing and renting and things like that. That's most of the revenue. The theater box office is only a small minority of what they would make in a year. And you say that Netflix's revenue is guaranteed, but at the same time, people can still unsubscribe from their service. Like, there's no such thing as too big to fail. You know, as Warner's is currently demonstrating, Netflix can have a bad run, and that can result in a lot of people canceling subscription. So Netflix, I mean, right now they're doing well, but nothing is guaranteed, and there are massive financial obligations to take on if they can buy Warner. Some people are talking about an antitrust suit, but the financials are not as clear cut as they seem.
It's tough because I think that there is bipartisan support for looking into this and potentially saying, hey, is this too big of a streamer totality? Is the biggest streamer in the world buying the third biggest streamer in the world? Is that something that is okay to happen? And the arguments are going to be, well, they're not just a streamer. They're competing for screen time on YouTube and TikTok. And that's how they'll try to get away from it. I don't know what the real answer should be. I do know that Paramount's not going to go down without a fight. Even before they officially announced the hostile bid, it seemed pretty likely they were going to. They feel like they offered more. They offered to buy it in totality, which includes all the linear television networks and CNN and all these things that nobody cares about anymore, which under the current agreement purchase from Netflix has waited until Warner Brothers and Discovery split So all of those linear television shit goes off with Discovery, and they just get the movie making studio and the streaming aspect of Warner Brothers, along with all the fucking IPs and all of that stuff. But Paramount's not going to go down without a fight. I don't know if the hostile bid is going to do enough to invigorate shareholders to override what their CEOs agreed to, because I think Netflix has a much better package for the CEO and the executives, and I think that's why they took that one instead of the Paramount one.
Well, Zaslav's fucked if Paramount does get it, because they did offer him a cushy executive position under their deal, and then he fucked them off and took the Netflix deal instead. And now potentially, if they do get this, they're very much going to be like, yeah, you're out, buddy. You screwed us over, so you're done. I'm curious how Paramount have got the money to do this, because they're not a super successful studio on their own right.
It's not Paramount. It's Skydance and the Ellison family.
Right. Okay.
That bid. Google Larry Ellison, and you'll understand how much money they've got.
Yeah. So most of it is coming from the Ellison fund.
Yeah.
And then some of it's coming from places like Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and I think UAE. I think maybe a Abu Dhabi bank fund or something was in there as well.
They've got the Ellison family have got a big black book of allies that have got very deep pockets. Trust me on that.
I mean, Drinker told you what Lance said. According to the sources, Larry Ellison's net worth is like $400 billion.
There you go.
When you hear his number, $400 billion.
I mean, he should be one of the richest men in the world. Then
he is one of the richest men in the world. Yeah. So I mean, the Paramount thing is just a label. Look at the people behind it, and I mean, it could be in worse hands. I mean, David Ellison's not the worst person to be steering the ship, but it all depends what they've got in mind for it long term. It does all feel a bit like we're scrambling for the boats because, oh no, that's happening quick. Let's do something. They haven't really got a strategy or a portfolio worked out yet, or a 10-year plan for movies and streaming and cinemas. I don't think there's a big strategy here beyond, oh, we've got to outbid those guys quick. Let's pull some money together. That's what's happening at the minute.
Tell you what, man, if I bought it over, my strategy would be I'm going to kill fucking the DCU. It's we're just
let's do it again.
Let's reboot it again.
Ban superhero movies for 10 years. Let's have some.
Or I would just completely fuck it up and be like, right, we're going to resurrect the Snyderverse, and we're going to have the DCU running parallel to it, and we're just going to let them fight. Just let's see where it goes.
Imagine you made it that competitive. Like, James, Zach, you both get one movie. The one that makes the most box office revenue wins.
Could you imagine the phone calls that they have to make? It's like Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill and stuff. Dude, guys, it's been rough. But can you come back?
Who gets Jason Momoa in the divorce? I guess it would be James Gunn if he wants Lobo.
Aquaman's going to be fighting Lobo.
They're going to have to fight over Gal Gadot, and the loser has to take her.
Drinker, no.
Okay.
Kal-El, no.
Despot, were you going to ask me something?
I was going to ask you if you seriously thought that putting a 10-year freeze on superhero productions would reignite audience appetite.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel that we've hit saturation with that particular genre, and I just think it would force creative minds to look elsewhere and start some original IPs. And I personally would love to see some original IPs and some different takes. I mean, I'm amazed that they didn't do the obvious thing with James Bond, which was go back as soon as Craig was done, put Cavill in the role, go back to the 1960s and do a 1960s James Bond reboot with the technology that was around then and that kind of look. I think that would have been great. It would have felt very fresh. We would have had a really interesting new door to the James Bond universe. Okay, that's not an original IP, but it's a very original way of looking at Bond. So there are things that could be done out there. I mean, I would certainly do them if I had the choice of a director. We just got the 40-year anniversary of The Wild Geese, and that's written by the same writer who wrote 12 Angry Men. You go and see that film, and okay, it's a bit dated in the first 20 minutes, but once it gets to Africa, you care about every character in that film that dies. It's a superb piece of filmmaking with Roger Moore, Hardy Kruger, Richard Burton, my favorite actor of all time. And every time a character dies in that film, you care about them. I can't remember the last time I went to see a film like that where I cared about the characters, even the supporting characters that I only met half an hour ago. I'm caring about them in that movie when they die. I want to see another movie like that. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. There have been some good films that came out this year. Most of them are independent, small things, but and there's been some good shows, including a lot of stuff from foreign television, like Estonia and Hewelius we just had on Netflix. Really good drama from Poland that probably no one's watching, but it's a really good series. There is stuff out there, but it's not being pushed by even the people that have it. Netflix, in the case of that show, So I would like to, listen, if we put a freeze on superhero stuff, the pessimist in me thinks they'd probably just find another way to make more terrible shit. But I'd love to see new IPs and fresh takes on things.
I think Supergirl is probably a perfect example of where the superhero genre has gone, where it's just like I see it and I just feel instantly tired. I feel like I'm just watching the same movie that I've seen like a dozen times before already, and I'm just so bored of it. And like, yeah, to pick up on the point you made, either it needs to rest or it needs to get completely reinvented and come back in a different format. I don't know what it is, but it has reached saturation point and people just need a break from it. Like it's either going to be decided upon by the studios or it's going to be enforced upon them, because they're going to lose so much fucking money over movies like this that cost a fortune to make and no one cares for them anymore. But either way, it's going to happen.
I really wonder, because people said, like, are we sick and tired of superhero films or just shitty superhero films? Like you, me, Mar talked about before we went live, is like, I'm not sick of Resident Evil. I'm sick of shitty Resident Evil films and shitty Resident Evil movie TV shows. I want good Resident Evil. It's like, is that the problem? Because look at Marvel Fate. Look at Marvel Fate. The first 10 years of Marvel. Look at the past 5 years of Marvel. The first 10 years, nobody was sick of Marvel because they were good. Nobody was sick of Star Wars because it was good. Like, is the superhero genre the problem, or just that the endless?
I mean, anything's possible. Like they could release like the best superhero movie that any of us have ever seen. Like it could happen. Doomsday might be like the greatest thing that we've ever experienced. I think it's unlikely, but it could happen. Nothing's impossible. It's just like it's getting harder and harder to do because one, we've played out like so many of these like different permutations of the same story. Two, they have over milked like so many of the tropes of the genre at this point. Like it's just become like factory produced garbage. And three, like we've had so many bad experiences with it that it's soured people on the very concept of it. So they're more cynical about superhero movies than they were, say, 10, 15 years ago when they were still relatively new and still fresh. And like we were quite interested to see where this was going. We've seen where it goes. We've been there, we've done it. And now we're just bored. We're ready to move on to something else now. That's the challenge they've got. And that's not an easy one to overcome.
It's like, it makes you wonder Star Wars, because people thought that they were going to adopt the EU, and the EU had like 20, 30 years of material. And of course, Kathleen Kennedy said there's no material at all. And maybe people just were sick of really shitty Disney Star Wars. If Star Wars was done right, we would never get sick of it. I wonder.
I think there's some truth to it. Like, say every single Marvel project that had come out since Endgame was a fucking banger, right? Like, it's all like 8, 9, 10s out of 10s that they're firing off. Even in a perfect world, I think with how much shit they've put out, there would be a little bit of regression. Just because there's so much stuff to follow. For instance, I think in phase 3 of the MCU, there's like 15 hours of content or something, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in phase 4, with all the Disney Plus shows and everything, it was like 65 hours of shit to watch.
Yeah.
So I think that regardless of anything else, they've made it feel a lot less special, which is why the only things that feel special anymore are these huge, massive team up things that they can do every couple years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, if you look at Doctor Strange 1, look at Doctor Strange 2. Look at Black Panther 1, Black Panther 2. Look at Daredevil, look at Daredevil Born Again. The characters aren't the issue, it's the shitty writing we're getting.
Let me answer some super chats here, or put it to the panel. as we go, because there's a ton of them that come in while we've been talking here. John Gets Gaming says, any less talked about Christmas classics that you guys enjoy at this time of year? Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs have great Christmas episodes, and Batman Arkham Origins is very centered around Christmas Eve. Wow.
True.
Yeah, for the panel, like any lesser known Christmas things that you guys like to watch?
Oh, that's a good question.
I always watch A Muppet Christmas Carol.
That is widely accepted as the greatest version of the
that is
Christmas
the definitive version of the classic.
Very obscure example.
I fucking love it. I feel happier every time I watch that movie. I'm
literally cooking the dinner, the Christmas dinner, while that's on in the background. It's now part of the ritual of Christmas Day, followed by Die Hard, of course.
It's a great one.
But lesser known stuff. I'm trying to think. There are some.
Yesterday, I just streamed Gremlins. Gremlins is a Christmas film, and a lot of people die in that film. That's not a good
you know what? I honestly haven't seen Gremlins in about 20 years. It's been so fucking long.
That is not a kid's film. I'll tell you one thing. It's marketed as that. No, it's not.
He also says 10 years since TFA, which means only 2 more years till everyone is suddenly going to love The Last Jedi, right? At least that's what idiotic fans claimed at release.
Actually, you know what I did last Christmas? I saw It's a Wonderful Life on the big screen for the first time at the Prince Charles. It was sold out, absolutely packed with a really interesting audience, you know, kids right up to adults and grandparents. And wow, that was great. It was electric atmosphere as well. That was a bit of an event. So that was good.
That movie makes you work for the payoffs. Like it takes its time building up its narrative, and damn, it's worth it by the end.
It was nice to see it on the big screen for the first time. I appreciated the photography and things like that a lot more than I have.
Pac-Man says Star Wars franchise destruction guilt. Kathleen Kennedy 45%, Ryan Johnson 25%, J.J. Abrams 20%, and Bob Iger 10%.
Oh, I think Kennedy's too low. Kennedy's too low in that.
I gotta get Dave Filoni on that fucking list somehow. Somebody's got to scooch aside. And you give up a % or 2.
He was just fucking the corpse, though. I mean, really, like it died with the movies.
You say that as though he wasn't, but
Dave Filoni was in the in between Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. They have all these big creative heads in a fucking circle at Lucasfilm that they put in this art book for some reason. And everyone was talking about all the plans they had going forward and what they should do for Last Jedi. And Dave Filoni was talking about the power of subversion, where it could be like, wow, Rey's actually really close to Leia instead of to Luke. Wouldn't that subvert people's expectations? There's this power in the femininity, subverting the masculinity. Too often in pieces of media, we don't get to see these women shine through. These are, I'm telling you, quotes from what Dave Filoni was saying inside the big story group meetings at Lucasfilm before the release of The Last Jedi.
He's the Grima Wimtongue. Don't let him get away with it.
This little lisping queer has been doing damage to Lucasfilm ever since he fucking walked in the door. And I'm not going to shut up about it until he's gone. Or I'm gone.
That hat.
I'll probably be gone first, but
yeah, that guy's gonna be there until the fucking company burns to the ground.
Because there's no fucking mindless, brainless, stupid fucks who will cheer because he made a child show that you like one time.
About to turn on Ryan.
True.
Let me move on here. Blankface says, do you think Disney is still in the red in regards to the Star Wars purchase? You know, the like $12 billion they paid for it, I think. Yeah, the movies made a lot of money, but they weren't cheap to make and market, as we've definitely learned. The shows were way too expensive for Disney Plus subscriptions to accommodate, leaving the only source of revenue being merchandise. Maybe they've sold a lot of those, but again, merch isn't free to make. Yeah, they haven't. They absolutely haven't sold merch. Like that stuff's in the gutter. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they're still in the red from that Star Wars purchase.
I don't know. MauLer's Baby Yoda collection is pretty big, so you know, got to take that into account.
Does it count if I buy them just to burn them? I guess it still does count.
It does. You paid for it ultimately.
Yeah. I think just
that chimney coming out the back of your house.
It's like all those people who buy like fucking Harry Potter books just to burn them. It's like, well, you still paid for them. You fucking idiots.
Think just like with all the licensing fees and stuff like that, and even for like video games that they don't make, they just like, hey, go ahead, EA, you've got this huge fucking contract to make all these fucking Star Wars games. I think the amount of money that's poured in from stuff like that, regardless of whatever not performing, probably technically they have like made their money back. But I think there's a big difference between that and what you expect to make when you make a purchase like that. If you had just bought, I don't know, fucking $4 billion in shares of stock, right? Say Netflix, when you bought Star Wars, how would it have performed on average versus how much of money have you got back from Star Wars, in addition to having to put so much into it? And that's the thing where you look at it, it's like, this has been a bad investment that has not paid off the way that it should have or could have for us. And you've devalued that thing that you bought.
Yeah. It's 100% like a law of diminishing returns with Star Wars. And like, yeah, there's a damaged brand to the point where like releasing new movies now is like a waste of time. I'm sure Mandalorian and Grogu is not going to be a $1 billion movie, put it that way.
It's sad drinker too. Whenever you see merchandise and when they show the sales, everyone's still buying Vader and Luke and Leia. No one's buying
those things.
No one's buying Rose Tico.
Yeah.
Is there a Rose Tico figure?
There is. There's a Rose Tico figure.
Oh my god!
Action figure.
Of course,
I think one of the best ways to understand what Disney did, because I worked at a toy store at the time, before TFA came out, Captain Phasma selling off the fucking shelves.
Really?
Post the story being told of Captain Phasma, no one cares anymore.
Right.
Like Star Wars was so healthy, you could sell an idea in the form of just the look of a character, and now it's so unhealthy that it's just like everything's piled up and nothing's selling.
Yeah.
Blankface is saying, "Are we ever going to get the Batman Part 2?" Yeah, they're gonna like straight up skip from like Batman Year 2 up to like, you know, The Dark Knight Returns, where he's like an old man. And there's
Robert Pattinson is going to be as old as Ben Affleck was in BVS.
Oh my god!
In Batman 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Which, I mean, isn't the craziest thing in the world, but the problem is one of those was 20 years in Gotham, and the other is Year 2 in Gotham. That's where like the disconnect becomes.
It's wild, man. Yeah, Blue Collar Loser. That guy sounds familiar. He says, "Oh boy, Supergirl. This is going to be a $1 billion movie, eh?" Sure, yeah, guaranteed. Blankface. I want to see a Batman movie with the Condiment King. It's played 100% serious, and Condiment King is a tragic villain. I think it would be the best unintentional comedy that's ever been made.
Is Condiment King an actual villain?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I like the sound of that.
Throw like ketchup at you and stuff.
You ever taken mustard in the eye? You don't want it.
No.
Condiment King.
What was the first movie that made you cry? My earliest memory is The Land Before Time.
I'll say Land Before Time. That sounds like I would have cried during that when I was a kid. That's a good one.
I can tell you mine. It was Call of the Wild, where the guy's looking for the gold in Alaska or something, and he's got the dog.
It's always going to be an animal, isn't it? That's what.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, the wolf, and like the wolf like saves him at one point, and then you know they kind of get killed, I think, by Indians or so. I just remember when the dog died, I sort of jumped off the sofa. Was like, "Mom, the dog!" You know. So yeah, it's one of those.
Killed by Indians.
I remember crying when Optimus Prime died. I cried.
Dead Poet Society as well. That's another. When Ethan Hawke runs into the snow, Dead Poet Society, man, that killed me.
I think it might be Watership Down for me. I don't know if that made me cry or it left me traumatized, but like, fuck, I watched that when I was like 5, 6 years old, thinking it was, this is an animated cartoon with cute bunny rabbits. And then I was like, oh, fuck, no, they're getting ripped to pieces. This is awful.
Somebody in the chat just said Wrath of Khan.
It was Outbreak, which was a 1995 movie about a virus that kills a bunch of people. And I watched it when I was a kid. And I was watching it with my parents, and I was so horrified, like, and terrified when the bodies started showing up, all bloody and covered in pustules, that I just burst into tears and had to leave the room.
That's a good movie. That's good film. That. Oh,
yeah, that terrified me as a kid. I still haven't finished watching it.
Oh, somebody said all dogs go to heaven. All dogs go to heaven. That's a rough one when you're a kid.
Charlie.
Yeah, someone was asking me like, "Oh, you watched Watership Down as a kid?" Like, well, I didn't realize what it was. It was just I swear to God, right? Someone in the UK, some sick fuck, decided to put it on at Easter because of the Easter Bunny and stuff, and that's what got me watching.
I saw that
realize. Yeah. Oh God, brutal movie.
I was like 5 when I saw that at the cinema. Our parents dropped us off. You remember when they used to do that? And we were like traumatized. There was like blood and rabbits getting their throats ripped out and stuff. And we were like, my God, this is really, you know,
it was the
it's like
Saving
adult
Private
movie.
Ryan of his day.
It was.
Otam says, whatever, not looking forward to another apathetic superhero character. Maybe she'll go on an arc and become enthusiastic about being a hero, but I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Pretty much. When you put whatever on your poster, like you can imagine what the response is going to be from everyone.
Oh yeah.
You know? Land Far Away says, remember how the 2000s critics unanimously mocked Kristen Stewart for her wooden acting, but once she came out, she suddenly became a critic's darling, despite cheating on Pattinson and having an affair with a married director. Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it?
Wow, you're right.
It's like a little personal shield that protects you from criticism.
They were forced to publicly apologize for that affair. Rather embarrassing. There you go.
Van Damnator says, hello everyone, with Fallout Season 2 on the way, I've made a video covering Season 1 called Every Wrong Thing with Fallout Season 1 in around 22 minutes. I asked everyone interested to see it and provide feedback, as it's my first attempt at that sort of thing.
How the fuck did you do that in 22 minutes?
It took like an hour.
Well, if you just list them without going into details, you might be able to do it.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Whose channel was that, Drinker? I'll watch that.
Van Damnator.
Van Damnator. All right, I'm going to watch that. I'll watch that for you.
That's a channel name that does not fuck around.
Exactly.
Blankface says, Supergirl tagline, truth, justice, whatever. Wow, let me guess. Supergirl is going to be a laid-back, doesn't give a fuck type of asshole, but is ultimately a good person that cares for her group of bandit friends who together will unite to save the day. Yep. Like every James Bond movie ever.
Why are you telling me Wolverine's origin story? I thought we were talking about Supergirl.
They just can't stop. Nikki D says, Drinker, have you watched Terminal List Dark Wolf yet? I think you'll enjoy it if you like the first season. Yeah, I've only watched like 2 episodes of it so far. I liked it. Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah,
good
I liked it. I'm ready for season 2 though. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blankface says, what's your favorite Bond movie per actor? That's a strange question. For me, I'd say Connery from Russia with Love. Oh, right. So, like, what's their favorite
What's
movie
your
from
favorite Connery movie? What's your favorite Brosnan?
I'm assuming everyone has the same Pierce Brosnan one.
I was going to assume everyone had the same George Lazenby one, but
this guy says for Brosnan, they said Tomorrow Never Dies.
What?
Yeah, that's
an interesting choice.
Tomorrow Never Dies is my favorite Brosnan with the stealth ship. I way prefer it over GoldenEye. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, I like.
You're allowed to make that choice legally.
What's the last Brosnan one? The one with the satellite?
Night of the Day.
Another Day.
Halle Berry in a bikini.
I mean, it's worth it for that, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Roger Moore, The Spy Who Loved Me.
Spy Who Loved Me. That's my favorite Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, that's not the same. That was the first one I saw that parents took me to see at the cinema. What a great experience.
Yeah.
With Connery, it's probably going to be it's the Goldfinger.
I love Goldfinger.
I think that's pretty much the quintessential Connery Bond.
Thunderball for me for Connery.
I always find Thunderball a bit slow.
It is a bit
especially
slow.
Underwater scenes and stuff. It takes forever.
It is a bit slow, but I do like it.
And yeah,
what
it's
about the Moore era though? What about the Roger Moore era?
Spy Who Loved Me.
Spy Love Me.
Oh, you guys are Spy Love Me.
Yeah, like that's a more serious version of Moore's Bond, where he's actually quite cold and businesslike.
Every other Roger Moore, it's like fucking. It'll give you whiplash because it feels like every other one is just goofy and shit, and then every other one is awesome.
Yeah. He had quite a mixed run, and I think he definitely like leaned into the 1970s camp with a lot of his movies. Dalton's a difficult one because he only did 2.
I would have loved to see 5 from him.
Yes, same. He was a really good
ahead of his time. The world wasn't ready for that kind of Bond movie yet.
No. He's apparently the most like book accurate version of Bond that you'll get, like the Timothy Dalton one.
Yeah,
I never feel compelled to rewatch them. They're not that much fun. They're quite good movies, especially the second one, but like they feel like more like 80s action thrillers than Bond movies. They're slightly weird, halfway house.
I know everyone's favorite saw Daniel Craig, right? And what's his best?
I love a favorite Craig film.
I mean, Casino Royale is superb. It's just, I feel like
it's great, but
I don't think he makes it
actually.
better by being in it.
No.
The problem with
all of his other movies, apart from Casino Royale, are pretty shit, though. I mean, people talk about Skyfall. I did not like Skyfall.
And yet, Skyfall's probably the second best.
I didn't like the premise of Skyfall, but I think the movie's good. The fourth one, by trying to wrap Blofeld up in that way that fucking quickly, I fucking hated it so much.
And then he was in the worst Bond movie, Quantum of Solace, which is completely unwatchable.
The one that they started filming and they didn't have a script. That one.
There was a writer's strike, and then even Daniel Craig had to start writing because if you were a member of the writers union, you couldn't write. So the fucking actors and directors were writing, and the whole thing turned into a complete mess. The director was a really bad director. I think his mission statement was, "I want the movie to be like a bullet," and the editing in that movie is fucking dreadful. There's a car chase at the start of the movie, and the editing is so bad you can't tell which car is the car being chased and which car is the chasing. It's horrific. It's like it's trying to be Bourne, but after Bourne stopped being cool, it's just fucking
like a Michael Bay car chase. That car chase. It's like we're in a Michael Bay movie all of a sudden. I'm like,
I did like the scene where they jump out of that plane and they're like in the sinkhole basically before they get the chute open. I did like that one.
And then the villain is just, the villain.
Forgettable as fuck.
Yeah.
Like nobody can. The funny thing is, like everyone has got this vague impression that Quantum Solace is a bit shit, but like if you ask them to explain what happens in it, nobody can fucking remember anything about it.
I got no clue.
Weird. Yeah,
I remember he made a guy drink oil in a desert.
Yeah, that's like pretty much the only thing I remember from that fucking movie.
Well, and remember the chick gets painted. A la Goldfinger style. The chick gets painted in the oil in the bed when they're.
I don't remember that. So I don't remember anything about that movie except for the car chase.
I don't remember anything.
Guy has to drink oil.
He's trying to track down the fucking. He doesn't know what it is yet, but he's trying to track down the members of the service that killed Vesper. Like that's the whole problem with Daniel Craig's James Bond is. I actually think that if you had shown us what happened with her, all the shit that went down, getting betrayed, and still losing the person that you love, all that stuff. You're like, okay, this is why Bond is Bond. I've seen this now. I get that. Let's move on. But the next 4 movies are all in some way tied to that and him not being able to let go of that. And that's why he's ready to die at the end of the last movie.
And I was ready for him to die as well because he's so fucking boring. It's like,
and although that's fucking relatable, we've all had women in our lives that want to make us want to fucking kill ourselves. But that's not what we want to see from James Bond.
They don't have the good grace to die for it, though. And it's just the fact that there's usually like a 2 or 3 or 4 year gap between movies with the Daniel Craig era really kills that immersion in the overarching story because you can't remember what the fuck even happened.
Especially if you're doing a continual story arc like that as opposed to self-contained movies. And I by the way, I hated that in the Bond universe. I didn't want to see that. I wanted
it was trying to be the
movie.
MCU and tie all the movies together, which is why Blofeld came up and said, I was the author of all your pain. I did it all. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
That line is so funny to me.
God, that might have been the worst ever James Bond moment.
It's like Drinker second. I say like Daniel Craig. He seems so miserable. I'm looking up right now. Between those 4 films, he made like $90 million. Trust me.
Craig,
he was never an A-list actor though. He didn't want to be.
Yeah, but he seems so miserable being paid tens of. Give me $90 million. I will never frown.
Daniel Craig has like the greatest line when asked, "Hey, do you want to come back and do another Bond movie?" He said, "I'd rather break this window and slit my fucking wrist on the glass before I do another Bond movie."
Yeah,
he went on to do 2 more after that.
Yeah,
those big paychecks, that jacuzzi and the house on the ocean front view is not going to pay for itself.
Those property taxes aren't cheap.
They tried to speedrun his career as well. Like Casino Royale, he's like a young agent who's just getting his 00 like designation for the first time. Like that's his origin story. And then by like I think the second or the third movie, he's like this washed up, injured old guy who can barely keep up anymore.
He has to redo the test. Yeah,
and it's like fuck me. Like you've put him through his entire life and career in the space of 3 movies. Where can you go from here?
I don't know why why they didn't recast M as well for it. That never made any sense to me, because that's why you have to just think of Daniel Craig's James Bond as an out of universe thing. It never fucking happened. It doesn't make any sense unless you think about it that way, because Judi Dench shouldn't be M if he's just getting his fucking thing. Like, that makes zero fucking sense. Let's stop doing this to ourselves.
I think it was Bond having a stroke or something, and just like all his brain went haywire, and he's like all these conflicting memories of different events just merged together into one mess. And
let's go with that.
Recover.
Let's go with that. That's good. That's good. We'll go with that.
Blankface says, I wonder how Supergirl will expand upon Krypton. I see it going one of two ways. Jor-El and Lar-El were evil people by Kryptonian standards, and Clark unfortunately had evil parents. Or second, Kryptonian culture is naturally a conqueror culture, but Supergirl will be a new, unique individual that won't follow in her culture's footsteps.
It's going to be like, women aren't allowed to do this and women aren't allowed to do that. That's why Krypton went so bad.
I mean, they'll never show her being evil or bad or anything, obviously, because she's a good man. But fuck, I don't know how they're going to dodge this.
It's going to be like, they just wanted us to stay at home all day, where they wouldn't let us go out and party. That's why Krypton fell.
I mean, the interesting thing about that question is, I kind of don't give a fuck what they do. Like, it doesn't matter. It's nonsense anyway. Like, who cares what their answer is? It's garbage. It's going to be slop no matter what. It doesn't matter. Dave Ark says, hey, Drinker, did you know season 2 of Netflix's Tomb Raider just got released today?
Oh, my God.
Me either.
Yay. No.
Is this the animated one?
Is that true?
And the animated, I think, yeah.
They made a second season of that.
Really?
I didn't even know they were making a second season. Yeah.
I have to check. I can't. Hold on. Tomb Raider, the Lara Croft story or something. What was it called?
The Lara Croft Lesbian Hour.
You're right.
Yeah, so Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, season 2.
Premieres today. You're right.
Fuck. Yeah, it's still. I'm astounded it wasn't cancelled. But I mean, it's an animated show, so they tend to do like 2 seasons at a time when they're animating it to save money.
Can't wait to see.
I can't wait to not watch that.
I can't wait to see Sophie Turner's going to be Lara Croft upcoming.
Didn't they cancel that, or is that still happening?
I think it's still happening now.
They just added Sigourney Weaver to that, didn't they?
It's been in like development hell for years. I think they're probably going to short it out eventually, but they probably shouldn't. I can't see anything good coming from it.
I always think Tomb Raider, I think, sounds so stark.
Yeah, it's not going to work. Marksman says, Zach from Smiling Friends was a guest star on Space King episode 4. Amazing episode and great OG Clone Wars reference at the end. Watch it. Merry Kingsmas.
Neat.
Nice. Howdy Drinker. I suggest South Dakota in the USA for some screen tourism. See part of the film set from Dances with Wolves, the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, Wall Drug, and even the majestic Corn Palace. Well, count me in. The next place I go is going to be Cairo in Egypt. That's in February.
Why you love me?
Yes, exactly. That's partly why I want to go there. It's pretty cool. So yeah, after like fucking suffering through Estonia, I wanted to go somewhere a bit warmer and sunnier. So that'll do.
Cairo will work in that regard, I'm sure.
Yeah. Northern English Bastard says, Hail Drinker, MauLer, DOA, RK, Lance, and Bruce. After seeing Crypto piss on Soups in the SG trailer, Gunn can do one. Pretty much.
Good old Northern.
Yeah. Quantum Ranger Power says, I'm already tired of it's from the comic defense for the problems that people have with Supergirl. Also, it's basically going to be True Grit in space.
Hey, man, there's plenty of bad shit in comics.
Maul is right. Oh, God.
Yeah, here's one. Still mad that Supergirl's not an adult film. It's a genre. Trust me, bro. I checked.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting to that point.
That makes
porn parodies are usually better.
No, there's some guy that makes all these weird low-budget Superwoman films, and he films them in his backyard, and it's always Supergirl in Lycra fighting with another superhero, and they always end up fighting and falling in a swimming pool. Blue, you know the one.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, he made like
it's on YouTube.
He made 19 of them.
Knows. That's what he's talking about, I'm sure.
Drinker recommends on that one.
Mate, you've got to watch one. They're hilarious.
Drinker, bring all the whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Expect excellent acting quality. Probably
It's gonna be
better
like
than
Father
the-
Ted with the water, like the wet T-shirt contest. More water. Just bought a book 3 of DCC on Audible, and who do I see as one of the book's narrators? The Critical Drinker. That's
That
Dungeon
guy?
Crawler Carl. Yeah, I was in that.
Nice.
It's weird that still comes up even to this day. Also, MauLer, your Outlaw vid made me realize they're still trying to replicate HK-47 with the companion droid. You cannot recapture greatness.
You're right.
Which is funny because he's the thing people like the most from the game. And so, to me, it seemed like they were baiting people in with him because they knew people wouldn't like K.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the next EFAT movies is Fat Man 2020, my favorite Christmas film. If you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend looking it up. You won't regret it.
Mel Gibson and Walton Goggins.
Yeah,
Fat Man.
I have seen it. It's very funny.
Yeah.
They're both great in it.
It's Walton Goggins.
He didn't write it, he didn't direct it, and yet somehow we still got James Gunn presents James Gunn's Galaxy Girl. Pretty much. MauLer, what's your favorite Smiling Friends episode and favorite joke? And since you've made over 20 hours of TFA, TLJ content, they must be good.
True, I've heard that. A lot of people said if you made the 17+ hour video on Outlaws, then that alone is already proof the game is pretty good. You can talk about it for that long. I was like, that makes total sense. Nobody's ever talked about anything bad in the universe for extended periods of time.
No.
As for favorite episode, I'm not. Favorite joke could be the Renaissance Man. I always go for that. I'm not going to explain it because it would take too long. But then Smiling Friends episode, I don't know, man. I kind of like the pilot. I love Desmond. I think he's a fucking hilarious character that just wants to kill himself. They desperately try to convince him not to throughout the whole episode. And like when they go to
Mike voices it.
Yeah, Mike's still classic. The image of them going to a theme park and like eating cotton candy, going on the rides and stuff while he's just constantly holding a pistol to his head is hilarious.
Mike's delivery is pretty good in that one as well. When they're asking him what he's going to do, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I was thinking I might kill myself or something." It's just like so deadpan.
Yeah.
Supergirl, super herpes. Yeah, she probably does.
God.
Yeah. Have any of you seen the new Sean Combs Diddy doc by 50 Cent on Netflix?
Yes, I
Looks to
have.
have been more viewed than the new season of Stranger Things.
Yeah, we just did a review of it on the Nielsen ratings last Tuesday, and I have to say it's a superb documentary, and it's not a hit piece either. There's a lot of balance in it, which I was quite surprised about, but it is really good. If you're even vaguely interested in the subject, and I wasn't particularly, I have to say it was very, very compelling viewing.
Nice. Give it a watch. Just watched your Starfleet Academy video, and I've got 2 things to say. Why is there a Jem Hadar in Starfleet uniform? Don't fucking know. The showrunners probably don't care either. And Paul Giamatti deserves better. He's a real actor. He can act and stuff. He can, but you'd never know it from that fucking awful clip. I hate it. I hate what Star Trek is, and that is like the perfect personification of everything bad about it. Can't wait for that show to die. Reno the Turk. Look, I live and die by aliens, but nothing Cameron has done is his own. Terminator, Ellison, The Abyss, H.G. Wells, and even True Lies he copied, Lost in Court. Don't count Titanic because it's just lazy. I mean, yeah, it's kind of based on true events and all that, you know.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that's fair though. Like to be like, well, Ellison came up with, you know, and he got credited and everything, but like, we still give, you know, he was the director. Like, look at T2. There's so much of his. I don't hesitate and be able to call him a genius at his best. He was fucking excellent.
I think there's
disgustingly cynical comment. I mean, how it's like if you don't sit down and write the thing completely by yourself from your own idea and do everything, you're somehow unoriginal. It's just it's an impossible standard. It's absolutely ludicrous.
It's easy for me to separate out like him at his best. He was really fucking good. Him right now, it's terrible.
Well, I was going to say, there's a much better argument to be made of he hasn't made a good movie in almost 30 years.
But he's made a massive contribution technology-wise as well to the film industry, in both cameras, CGI. He pushed the envelope every time. He was like another George Lucas in that regard.
But even True Lies, he hasn't mentioned True Lies here. True Lies is one of the greatest action comedies ever made.
Yeah, it's really
it is a masterpiece.
Love that film.
We were robbed of a True Lies franchise. That's a franchise.
True Lies is based on a French movie, I believe. I can't remember what the name is, but
You're right.
it's based on
That's
a
right.
French film that did the same concept. They just ported it over. Again, I'm not taking away from Cameron on that one. It's just like it's not an entirely original concept. It was based on something else.
It was basically Cameron's James Bond, but I would have loved to have seen a 5 or 6 of those movies. That would have been a great franchise with him behind it.
Oh, Drinker, it's called a La Totale. It actually has starring
Right.
Jean-Claude Van Damme from 1991. Okay.
There you go.
Really? Oh, I've got to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my dad your books for Christmas, but I can't find Second Chances and Trial by Fire. I see their novellas. Will he be lost if he skips them? Thanks. No, they're designed so that you don't need to read them for the rest of the series, because Trial by Fire especially takes place before the events of everything else. The reason you can't get them on physical is because they're just novellas and they don't print stuff like that, so it's just Kindle only. Although I think there's audiobook versions as well. But yeah, if you really want to watch, if you want to read them, that's the way to do it. Yeah, I was called a Snyder bro for saying taking a piss on Superman sounds like James Gunn. What the fuck do people think? You're either Team Gunn or Team Snyder? A lot of people are option C, something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, Jim Ward, the original RE voice of Krauser, passed away yesterday.
Man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Godspeed, soldier. I hope he was prepared for his death. Yeah. Sad times indeed. And yeah, he's just back from the stadium to catch open bar. I hope you're not a Rangers fan. I'm not, so it's okay. We have the song Budapest is green and white. It looks like Glasgow too.
What does 5,000 huff translate to in dollars? 5,000 huff.
Yeah, what the fuck's a huff?
Is that a lot of money? I don't know.
I don't know. It's orange, so I think that
About
makes it around
like
about 20
$15.
quid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a scientist. There's been an accident in your lab. Who would you rather end up as? Darkman, the Lizard, or Brundlefly?
Oh, those
Darkman,
choices
probably.
are pretty,
The lizard, I think. Right?
I could go for a bit of Darkman.
Definitely
It's not Brundlefly anyway.
definitely
No, I
not
think we can all
Brundlefly.
rule that
Well,
one
if
out.
I choose Brundlefly, do I get to bang Gina Davis before I turn into a fly?
Is it worth
Before
it,
your
though?
cock falls off and you put it in a jar.
Like peak Gina Davis? Maybe.
Which is pretty hot.
Technically, you
but
do.
that's-
That's how the sequel happens. Technically, you do get to bang Gina Davis. So,
Yeah, but have you guys seen The Fly recently? What he turns into? It's horrible.
Yeah.
Good film.
No Gina Davis is with.
Exactly.
Lizard can be cured, apparently. So maybe I'll go for the lizard for a
But
bit.
Darkman's got good powers too.
Or would
Darkman
you
has
rather
all
be
that.
Kristen Stewart? I mean,
Oh, well.
well.
Robbie Darkman.
Yeah, I think so. I'd rather be the Fly, actually. Yeah, I watched the trailer before going to the dentist, and I have to say I had more fun at the dentist getting my chipped tooth fixed. Also, why are they disrespecting Superman so much? It's really annoying. I'll tell you one thing that's not going to happen. You're not going to see Supergirl get her ass kicked constantly throughout this movie by every like fucking monster and bad guy in the film. That's reserved for Superman only. Guess why?
True.
Yeah, hope you guys are well. Yeah, you should watch the Iron Lung trailer.
I actually, my kid watched yesterday. It looks surprisingly good.
I want to play that before I see.
Yeah, my son played it. He's
Guy like locked in a diving fucking bell or something. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
It's all about this whole like river of blood.
Oh,
it's just the thing that people are interested in now is that it's another YouTuber who's pretty big who's transitioned. Well, it's not even the first time he's done acting or producing a thing like that. But as with Shelby Oaks having come out, people want to see what Markiplier is going to do.
Always right.
Yeah. Merry Christmas and fuck that stupid Gun Girl trailer. Wow, don't hold back. And I'll finish with this one. Ryan Crawford says, "Hail Bar, you beautiful bunch. Curious, the Supergirl from this trailer, how would that have went down in the 80s with Reeves Superman? She's wearing a Walkman listening to Blondie." It's so tonally mismatched from like the Christopher Reeve era. I just I can't, man. I just can't. I don't know what you would do with that.
It'd like give her a stern talking to. Tell her to act like a lady. That little bitch.
You know, even the Helen Slater film, for as bad as it is, she actually referenced the fact that her cousin is more powerful and more inspirational and better than her in that film. Versus this film, boy, she's just shitting on Clark. Off the bat, it's crypto pissing on Clark's image.
Yeah, and he's just a clueless doofus who just sees the best in people, but she sees the
I
real
see the truth.
Yeah.
He sees the best in people. I see the truth.
It's so tiresome, man. Just,
as No Doubt plays in the background.
Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, and on that note, fuck it, let's get the hell out of here. No, thank you guys for everyone who's joined us for this. It's been awesome having you all here. My lovely panel of guests. You guys are superb as you always are, and my mods who do the peacekeeping in chat. I appreciate you guys for all the work you do, and for everyone who's super chatted and been super generous with their donations here. We thank you very much, and the ones that we haven't answered tonight, we will, as always, catch up with on Last Orders. But right now, that is all that we have from Open Bar. So go away now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.